I hit go live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, Daniel.
Hi.
Everybody, this is Daniel from Modbot. How's everyone doing today? This is our VZBot build series. So I'm not gonna go through my normal saying hi to everybody in chat, but we've been watching, we've been keeping up with chat. Thank you everybody who's here. So welcome everybody, this is awesome. Thanks for being here, Daniel. This is gonna be...
I am super excited to be here, man. This has been a long time, I think 4 months or so, you know, since we started talking about it. And so to finally be here live and, you know, doing this build is super exciting.
Yeah, for sure. How we started planning this, what, mid-April?
Whenever the initial stream was, where either someone was talking about it and I was watching your stream and I posted in your stream saying, hey, Steve, you know, Steve collab stream, let's do it.
Yep.
So,
and I said, let's talk about it. And we talked about it and things fell into place, and we have some pretty awesome sponsors that have made this possible. Mellow themselves has donated a kit, and 3dprintshop.org donated a kit, and those links are in the description if anybody wants to check those out, for sure. I'm going to make sure that I catch these, so don't let me forget. Fabrico Chamois, thanks for becoming a member. So, and hey, everybody who's just getting here. This build series, Daniel and I are both going to be building VZBot 235 kits. The same kit, the same setup. So we'll be building them in parallel. We will have different scenes in our stream setup to where we can show each other's work. We will be switching hosts throughout the series. So on Sundays, I'm gonna host on my normal stream time, and on Wednesdays, Daniel's gonna host on his normal stream time. And the link is in the description to Daniel's channel. So if you're not subscribed, go down there and follow that link and subscribe. PF Dennis, thanks for the gifted memberships. And Jay, thanks for the gifted memberships. So
it's gonna be noon Pacific Standard Time is what it is on my channel for Wednesdays versus 10 on here.
Good call, good call.
Yeah.
Noon Pacific, 10 Pacific here.
Yep.
So, and then we're just gonna, this is the same as both of us kind of do the same thing. We do a hangout and build type streams. They're not sitting down and chugging through and getting through a build as quick as possible.
Laid back.
We're laid back, we're interacting with chat, we're the best part of this is going to be interacting with each other. And so we will make it through these series. We figure it's probably going to be at least a month of streams, and that's streaming twice a week.
At least.
At least.
I said a month, and you said you think it'll be. I think it'll probably be longer. Looking at the build and what's all entailed with this, I think it'll be longer, but at least a month. Yeah.
Yeah. Fabrico Chamois, thanks for the gifted memberships. Holy moly.
50 memberships.
So,
holy crap. That's awesome.
Hey Sean. Hey Sean's wife. We just, what do we got here? We just got a Bamboo Labs P1P at Micro Center. Awesome. Fun.
That's
Tuxedo,
cool.
thanks for the gifted memberships. What's that?
I forgot you can get them at the retail stores now at Micro Centers. I think that's fairly new. Yeah. Micro Center is definitely like the biggest nationwide, you know, maybe not nationwide, but across many states storefront for, you know, walk-in pickup printer.
Yeah. Yeah, the closest one here is 6 hours away. We used to have one in the Bay Area, which would have been 2.5, 3 hours away. But our big store, similar store there, was Fry's. We had 2 Fry's here in Sacramento.
They're closed down though, right? All the Fry's
they're all closed.
Yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, they were really handy for stuff earlier, but towards the end, they turned into some consignment method.
There was nothing there. There was nothing there, barely. Yeah, we before we moved, we had a Micro Center about 30 minutes away from where we were at, and I loved it. Being able to go down there and pick up things was awesome. And then Fry's was always about an hour drive from where I grew up, and going there as a kid or like a teenager, it's like a candy store. It's like Legoland for all computer parts that you wanted. But
well, they were all
over
themed.
The last couple of years, there's like I think we had Space Theme was the one by us.
We had a Western theme. There was a train crashing out of the entrance, the one in Roseville.
Yeah, they were awesome. I mean, I'm sad. I was really sad to see them slowly decline over the last couple of years. Because I went there a couple of years ago towards the beginning of the pandemic, maybe before it even, and it was like the shelves were barren. There just wasn't much left in the stores.
Yeah. Make RS, thanks for the gifted memberships.
New Micro Center being built. Yeah, I did see that Micro Center is expanding and that they're opening up a few new locations, which is awesome. They don't have any, I don't think, in Idaho.
Well, I mean, both the Bay Area and Sacramento would be great markets for them. But
yeah.
Okay, what do we got? Nino is saying both printers are sold out, but on pre-order for both sizes is on the site. I assume they're talking about the Mellow Kits. So that's good to know. Hey, Sanity. Okay.
T35 was available. I hear the audio from the stream coming from my other computer. I'm gonna really quickly walk around and turn it off. Give me 1 sec, Steve.
Sounds good.
It's driving me a little crazy.
So it'll be interesting because we are gonna run into little things. So I forgot to ask, how do we sound? Does Daniel and I sound about the same level? Can you hear us? Can you hear the music? All that kind of stuff. And while I'm waiting for you to respond to that, I also want to mention that as with every stream, there is a Polymaker filament giveaway. The link is in the pin post and the description. You might have to hunt in the description for it. It's a little further down than usual. But make sure that you, if you would like to enter that, do that. I do my Polymaker giveaways. You have to be here, but I always do them at the 3-hour mark. So it's a consistent time, so you know when it's going to happen. You're not waiting for some ambiguous end of stream for it to happen. So that's my compromise. You have to be here, but it's at the 3-hour mark. So sounds are good.
Awesome. Volume levels, are we okay? Because I know that Daniel might be slightly lower. That's what someone had mentioned the other day.
Oh.
I guess we can play it by. I might be talking a little bit quieter as well, but I know someone had mentioned the other day that I sound a little bit lower.
I bumped you slightly, so we'll see how that goes.
All right.
Awesome. I bumped just slightly. Hey, John, tripod.
Someone asked about where the kits were, where they were from, or where they can get them at. And for Mellow, if you want to get directly from Mellow, I'm pretty sure it's exclusively through their AliExpress, right, Steve?
Yeah. No.
And then
the Mellow Kit, if directly from Mellow is AliExpress, but there are resellers.
Yep. So Print 3D is in the States. I'm almost positive, right?
3D Print Shop.
Yeah.
They're the one that provided a kit, so I'm going to say they're the go-to right now.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Pretty
we're
close.
both a little overcompressed, a little. Both kind of overcompressed. That's interesting because we're coming through slightly different routes. I should sound exactly the same as any other stream. So a little bit, I guess an interesting thought here is how did we set this up? So how are we making this happen?
Well, I think a little background, right? Like we tried a lot of different methods. Like the main thing that took the most time for this series was figuring out how the heck we were going to do this in a way that felt like an experience we wanted to share, right? And so what we ended up using this is actually, me and Steve are in a Skype call. So we tried StreamYard initially, which just is great for like interview style, but for builds, you just don't have the same level of control for scenes and all of the regular things that we're used to in OBS. And then we tried, it was Video Ninja, which is like a third party, you can call each other, then create a source. So Steve was able to grab my source, but the quality just was debatable.
720p max, right?
Yeah, it was questionable as to how solid the connection was going to be. And then I remember that years ago when I ran a podcast, I had used Skype and what's the technology called that we use? NDI. Yeah. So we tried that again, and it's been years since I'd used it, and it is far better than I even remembered. So it took us a little bit of fine tuning. I mean, essentially, I'm going through Skype, then being grabbed by Steve, who's then putting me into OBS, who's then feeding me out. So like, it's a little crazy, but it by far was the cleanest. Felt like the most. Oh gosh, what's the word? Just like the nicest experience for everybody. So, but it took quite a lot of planning and just figuring out what the heck we were doing.
This particular like this many pixels for this scene and.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I was like, how many pixels are you from the left wall? I forgot about that. I think I blacked out during the configs aspect of it all. So
but part of that is this isn't going to be perfect. We are relying on connections. We're in completely different states.
Yep.
There's probably going to be a glitch here and there, but we're going to go with it. Go with it. So are we ready to get started?
I think so. I'm excited, man. I'm super excited. So yeah, if you are, I'm ready.
I am. So we're going to start basic unboxing. Let's go through, I'm going to go through the documentation that we're going to cover before we actually start unboxing. So I'm going to switch over to one of our, to the screen share scene and see, we have nice little new scenes. So really the main VZBot documentation is going to be at docs.vzbot.org. And this is, hey, Zombie, thank you. So this is, I just posted a link in chat to docs.vzbot.org, and there's a lot of information here, including a somewhat close aluminum version VZBot 235 build guide. Now this doesn't exactly match the Mellow Kit, so we're going to be figuring things out as we go along, going off of the CAD and stuff. There is a GitHub for downloading files, getting more information. Let me paste that link. Mike, thanks for the gifted memberships.
Have you played around, Steve, with the CAD file at all? I was doing it a little bit this morning just to get kind of
cumbersome.
Just to get familiar. Yeah, you sort of like the way the main works, and then going into the branches to make things visible. It's going to be a bit of I think trial and error in terms of how to see what we want to see while we're looking at it.
Yep. So that's and then the other big part of the build is what Daniel was just talking about. Is there is a Autodesk Web CAD assembly. Now the CAD is available for all the VZBot stuff, but the specific Mellow designed aluminum pieces, the CAD is not available, but it is visible. It's read only basically. So that's why we'll need to use this to go in and see the particular design elements. So the easiest way to get here is at that GitHub page. Down here is you can view the complete web model without CAD software here. The CNC full Mellow Kit is what you want to click on, and that'll get you to this Autodesk link.
Someone asked if we're building a printed parts machine or a metal parts machine. So I believe this is the full CNC version, right, Steve? Yeah.
Yep.
So it's the CNC version. There's still a lot of printed parts, especially because this has the static cooling fan and what else? The like CPAP setup and all that. So there's definitely printed parts, but the main, I think, gantry at least aspect of it is going to be CNC.
Yes, and there are some additional options that we don't have. So Mellow makes some of the additional braces and stuff in aluminum that you could get. They make a different X extrusion gantry or X gantry extrusion in aluminum that you could purchase instead. There's a few things that could be different, but we have a basic aluminum parts kit. In the description of the stream are links to Mellow's, and I scrolled way down here, but Mellow's AliExpress store here. And right here, it says 3 left. So I don't know if that's, someone had said they were sold out, but at least at this link, there are some. And then Print 3D Shop is a US based, oops, I wanna close that. A US based distributor, and the link is also in the description for that.
Yeah, so, and they also, Print 3D also has the 330 version, I think, too, right?
Yes. Yes, there's a 235 and a 330 here.
Yeah.
So, and then the full kit, and if we go to the 235 that we're building, you can get all the fun aluminum bits and pieces. So, yes, like these handles and frame braces. Ours are printed plastic, but you can buy them in aluminum. It's a little spicy, $110, but that's a lot of processes and that machine work too.
They look very pretty. I've seen them in Simon's video. Very, very, very pretty looking.
Yep. One thing to note is that at least with Print 3D Shop, they approached me talking about a kit. He never asked to even be mentioned on the stream. That was not part of the deal to provide a kit. It sounds like they're a fan, and like I said, there was no expectation of it even mentioning their name. So
that's awesome.
Just letting people
Super
know
cool.
that. So, okay, now that I wanted to establish documentation so folks can follow along. And now we can let's go to an overhead and start unboxing. So you have yours there, and what I think I'm gonna do is just reach around behind me and grab layer by layer. So these are packaged in a box with foam layers, and the first layer is easy. You got a Z cable chain and a power cord.
Piece of cake. I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put things once I pull them out of the box. I didn't really think this through.
Oh, and hey, Print 3D here is in chat.
Figure it out.
So, thanks again. Just making sure we didn't miss anything big here. Okay, so that one was easy. Next one's a little more fun. And that's where you're at too. So this is a big collection of parts here. We have our, this uses 5160 external drivers.
It's the first for me.
Yeah, same here. Same here. And it looks like there's a big purple, pinkish, what would you call that?
Heat sink.
Heat sink. And then the drivers here. So there's a step stick adapter. That's this guy. So this goes into the control board, and all it is an adapter for a cable. And then this cable goes between here and the large high voltage 5160 drivers.
They're monsters. I'm assuming the 4 of these are for the all-wheel drive setup then, right? It's gotta be.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. These are awesome.
So this will be someone's asking, there will be a 48 volt
power supply
on here. Yep. Oh, PB Super, welcome. One of the VZBot devs, thank you for being here. 24 volt for the motherboard Z and E, and 48 volts for the X, X1, Y, and Y1. Yep. Let me get this stuff back put away.
You go through each box?
Huh?
Yeah,
vaguely. A little bit. Okay. So we'll just go in order. They're labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, and then standard parts and motherboard. So 1, it looks like has a screen. So there's a screen that comes with it, a touch screen, I think 5-inch. It's the Fly LCD Gen 5-inch. Oh, hi Charlie. There's Charlie. So someone asked earlier and I missed it. Charlie is semi-stable. I've mentioned before, there's this slow downward slope he seems to be on, but he's still eating. He still wants snuggles. He still gets excited for his treats. So.
He's out running around.
Yep. So he'll do his inspections and stuff, and at some point we'll try to sneak in some time to give him some treats. So. Well,
Someone said hi, SteveBot. I like that, SteveBot.
There we go. Uh-oh, no audio. What? Did Charlie hit a button?
You sound great to me.
Well, of course I'm going to. Okay, Charlie's all over. Okay, box 2. Box 2 has wires, and I'm not sure yet where these wires go because it's just a bunch of coils of wire.
I'm assuming these are maybe power wires. They're really thick.
Yeah.
They're really thick wires.
Audio is fine. Okay. So box 2 is just wires. Box 3. PB Super is responsible for my half VZBot Trident build. Awesome. This is CPAP. So this is the part cooling fan. So this big old scroll.
Which is much smaller than I had envisioned in my head.
Here. Right? Same here. I pictured this thing being gigantic. and
massive.
it's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm curious to see how much air this thing
scale.
can chuck. Yeah, it's really like I think in my head pictured this being maybe 3 to 4 times the size of it.
Yeah.
Mounted on the outside. So
I
this
agree.
thing's adorable.
I agree. Charlie is 16. He was 16 in June. He's eating now. Good. Okay, and then box 4 is fans, more wiring, the other step stick 2209s, I'm guessing.
Yep. Looks like it.
Fans, the hot end fan, and stepper wires, it looks like. Seems to be reasonably well packaged.
Gantry says, Steve, were screws loose on Gantry like Nero's stream?
Oh, yeah. We haven't checked mine, but Daniel's were.
Mine were.
Yeah.
I was checking to verify whether I needed or whether I had the printed parts for the gantry, and when I lifted the gantry really quickly to check it, two bolts and T-nuts fell out of the gantry. I was able to find them. One landed in the box and one landed on the floor, but I got them. So yeah, 2 of the bolts, they were M410s, and their T-nuts for them fell out.
Yeah.
So.
The only initial issues we had with packaging is some of the CNC parts on one of the layers shifted and weren't in their regular spot. But standard
to be fair,
parts,
though, it looked like my box had taken a beating, man. Like when it showed up, they had the hard black corner brackets on it. One of the corner brackets was missing, and one was like hanging on. So maybe if it was, but still, like I think that there could be some more compactness of the CNC parts. But mine definitely was drop kicked at least once or twice, I think.
When we see that layer, it makes sense to maybe put a piece of tape over or something over the areas where because they're fitted spots. You'll see it. Standard parts box was fasteners and a few other things like some frame corner brackets, the bed springs and spacers.
Ooh, you should show them the hardware box that you remixed.
Well, of course. So part of stream prep, so you didn't have to watch us sort screws, was we took Daniel's fastener box and remixed it. Oh, I'm trying not to spill everything inside.
The lighting on the black makes it impossible to see.
Let's do this. Wow. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Now I had some warping on this part, but whatever.
Yeah, he VZBot it.
Gary, thanks for being a member. Anyway, this is the, we labeled and it actually turned out to be pretty much exactly for the low quantity fasteners.
Yeah, well, Steve double decked a couple, like he took the drawers and he remixed them. So the ones that have 2 labels on them have 2 compartments now. Yeah, which is perfect because again, like there's so many different bolts in this, and so many of them only have 3, 4, 2 quantity. So it made more sense to split it up versus use an entire drawer for just two bolts or 2 screws.
Yeah, Gary, thanks for being a member, and thanks for the gifted membership. And then of course I had to have one of my hex trays. So this is going to be perfect because there are other things like the ball spring T-nuts. These aren't going to fit in those little trays, so we'll put them in the hex tray. Might as well do that right now, huh?
I've got my Steve tray as well. Not as color coordinated as Steve's is, but I've at least got mine for the T-nuts.
So then once we do this, we're pretty much good on the fasteners. So we'll have basically T-nuts here. So what do we have here? I missed. Did you find a few screws missing? We don't know yet. GPs. We've heard that there might be, that we should be aware of that, but we're going to go through the build and hopefully have anything that we need spare on hand. So, okay. So that ended up working perfect because that's all the fasteners with a few little spots free on the hex tray and the drawer system you designed completely filled up.
Yep. Did you want to show, someone asked right now, what colors did you go with on each? Do you want to show that now? I mean, you showed it essentially since the box is basically your scheme, but Did you want to just go over specifics of the colors? Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about this a little bit. Let's go here. So both you and I, we decided when we entered into this build, we're both new to the VZBot
world
community,
yeah,
everything. So we talked about it, and when we were planning this build, the EasyVZ program had just started up. And I went to you and said, hey, do you want to do this? It sounds like a cool thing to at least check out, give some feedback on, see how it works. So we both put in tickets for the EasyVZ program. So we have different providers, slightly different materials. So I'll start and then you can go. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say maybe for anyone that doesn't know, maybe explain what is the EasyVZ. We said EasyVZ program, but like for those that don't know, what is that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so leave that to me. Okay, so the way I would describe it is, if you're familiar, I'm going to use the Voron as an example. If you're familiar with the Print It Forward program, essentially it's a way for somebody that either doesn't have the capabilities or the machine or the time that's capable of printing the parts and materials needed to build a VZBot. Well, you can go through their program where it's a set of specific approved providers, and it's based off of who's available. What's that?
Keep talking. I'm going to show.
Okay. Yeah. So based off of who's available for the specific job, based off of location, based off of what you're needing, the providers can then see, hey, I'm looking for. So it works slightly different. In theory, it's the same premise of it's to get parts for someone that either doesn't have the ability to or doesn't have the time to print the parts out themselves. So you can pay and have them printed by someone on the official EasyVZ program. But the way the program works is slightly different in a sense that, like, you put out that you're looking for a specific job, and it goes into sort of like I don't know, like looking for work. Yeah, like a queue, and then a provider that has the ability and is available can then grab that queue, and it sort of goes from there. And you can pick your colors and your materials, and yeah, I mean that's the sort of summary of it,
Yeah, so we went through the process, ended up with parts, and those are what we're going to use for the build.
Yep.
So someone said, is VZ better than Voron or just different? Just different. We're not going to get into direct comparisons here, especially since we're both new to VZBot and we're both experienced with Voron builds.
I don't have the I don't have. I think that like many of the custom printers or printers I built, it's whatever's right for you. Like some might see more value in something while others might see another, but like it's an awesome printer. I've been following the VZBot printer for at least a year plus. So
I want to address a quick message in chat. The Print 3D page doesn't allow you to navigate without entering an email address. I didn't, when I was navigating to it earlier, I just clicked away from that page and it went away, or I clicked the upper right corner. So you should be able to get past that email address thing, just letting you know.
It's good. It's good feedback though for the site. Usually if you have like a big close or X button, it's easier, to make it clear, because there's some that don't want, and I understand if you're not purchasing to not put in, an email right away. Yeah.
Hey, Kilo.
So.
The cost on the EasyVZ program, I think, is per provider and what particular options you're asking for, because it's not quite the same as like the Voron PIF program, where PIF is very structured in that we are providing functional parts in this configuration at this price. The EasyVZ program is a little more flexible in, do you want the side fans? Do you want this option? Are you buying this kit? And then depending on the individual materials that you're buying. So what I hear is they have basically a checklist, they go through, and that kind of generates a price based on your particular build. But you don't commit to anything. You can put in your ticket and put in your basic idea of what you're asking for. A provider will grab your ticket, and then you'll discuss it. And if something about that doesn't work, then you just go back in the queue and find another provider.
Yeah. You agree on colors, pricing, all that stuff before you fully commit. So it's basically, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Cool, talk to someone, see if it's a good match and that everything aligns. And then once you've got pricing and you've decided on, material choice and color and all that stuff, that's when you would basically do the handshake or the commit to the next step. And and that's when the process starts, is the actual printing process. So
in general, my parts colors are Polymaker, Galaxy Green ASA, and then I have a mix of a generic, I don't know what brand, carbon fiber ASA, and then 3DX Tech carbon fiber polycarbonate.
Okay, so it is carbon fiber ASA then, the one that, okay. So I think I confused myself thinking that I got carbon fiber. So I'll show mine then. I went with the Polymaker Orange Galaxy ASA, and then this then has to be 3DX Tech carbon fiber ASA. I'm doing more orange and less of the like primary. I mean, that's an interesting thing as well, right? Talking about that, because one of the things that we experienced was that, like, with the VZ program, or with the VZ in general, there's not specific primary and accent parts. And so although Steve and I both have primary and accent parts, they're sort of random in a sense. And so as part of the Easy VZ program and the way it is, what we're describing today could be completely different to what it's like in 2 months' time. Like, it's a new program. I don't know how many people have gone through it prior to us. And so I'm sure that as they get feedback and as time goes on and volume picks up, they'll probably do some refinement and change things up along the way. So,
yeah,
you know, but this is what we, you know, this is what we, our experience was like with it, or what we went through. But it might be different, again, depending on who and when.
And it's a new program. I'm sure they're gonna learn as they go.
Yeah, exactly. Sure.
But when you get a chance, can you post a link to the parts organizer, your things link?
Yeah,
in chat.
Put it also on printables. It's been, yeah. Give me one.
And we'll put a link in the description later to this guy here.
Yeah, the VZ one, though, I won't have on things. So the one I'll
Right.
post is just the standard one, which is the Voron one, which essentially is the same thing. The difference is the design on the side being the VZ logo, and then Steve's new drawers, which are pretty cool. Keyboard is not working. Okay. Okay, there we go.
While we're doing that, I'm gonna go back to unboxing. Overhead. Does that sound good?
Yeah, yep. That sounds
So
like...
standard parts was fasteners and miscellaneous hardware, and then motherboard is, Mellow. It's gotta be, right? And it is a Fly Super 8, I believe. What does it say on the side? So the board is a
Super Pro. Oh, Super 8 Pro.
Super 8 Pro. Okay. Yep. Fly Super 8 Pro. Hi, Charlie.
That's a first for me. The Gemini is the only other flyboard I think that I've used so far, which was on the V0 build that I did.
Yeah, so Daniel posted the link to things for the... Is this kit fully enclosed? Yes.
Do you want to take out the extrusions right now, Steve? Since the first thing we're probably doing is the frame.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
All right. Every once in a while, I get lucky.
Has a faster processor than most BTT. Oh, hey, Dutch dude. How are you? Should help with quick printing. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Okay, so that would be the next thing, is we have extrusions here. And we both ended up with black extrusions. There was some talk on Adam, Vector 3D's channel, on whether these are anodized or painted, and I'm pretty sure they're anodized. So,
interesting.
It's just a glossy finish on them. I think looking at the threads, it doesn't look like any paint buildup. It looks too consistent to be a paint. And I don't want to scratch them to find out.
Yeah, I mean, I do see one tiny mark where the silver is shining through from underneath, but that's interesting. I've never heard of painting.
Yeah, well, there's a few places that are powder coating or painting.
Gotcha. They're anodized. Print3D says they are anodized. No color option on frames at the moment.
Yeah. It's just an odd feel. It doesn't quite feel like anodizing is why the question came up, I think. A little funky mark on the edge right there. Might have to clean that up.
It actually they feel similar, more in line with the Cyborg extrusions that I got on the Trident build that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
The chrome ones, they're a little bit glossier than what I'm used to with like something like a LDO type kit where they've got a little bit more of that, I don't know how to describe it, like a little bit more of a texture, you know, like a light texture. I don't know, like a grit to it. I don't know what's the word.
Yeah, Colin is nailed what I was thinking. They look shinier than typical anodized extrusions. And nice 3DP, thanks for becoming a member. And make RS, nice. Absolutely. Powder coating, I'm not a fan of because of the mating surfaces. If your aluminum parts go in shiny, they also come out shiny. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside. Extrusions out, and then the fun layer.
Yep, all the goodies.
This is all kinds of goodies here. This is the gantry and power supplies, more accessories.
Sprays again.
Hey, pushing plastic. Even Masumi has the yellow 1515 or 2020, which are painted. Yeah. And in general, for our stuff, I'm not a fan of painting or powder coat. So when you paint or powder coat, you're adding some material. It's an additive process, right? Anodizing is as well, but it's super, super thin. It's an oxidation layer when you're anodizing. But when you have to put T-nuts into slots, when you need blind joints to be flat and that, I think adding material that's thick like a paint is generally a bad idea.
I would imagine that, I mean, powder coating's pretty strong. I know that's what they primarily use for rims. Like my dad got his rims powder coated on his vehicle. So like, I know that stuff's pretty tough, but I would think at least painting would be not nearly as protective. I think it would scratch much easier than an anodization or something like that.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to add more material than anodizing.
Yeah.
Sure. Hey, Aaron. Aaron likes my shirt.
That's just a nice t-shirt. That was the first thing I said when I saw you this morning. Nice shirt, Steve. When are Steve's shirts coming out, man? You don't have merch right now, do you?
You know, I just ordered stickers. So if you're going to Earth, find me, I'll have stickers. They should be here tomorrow. Stickers should be here tomorrow. So that's my first merch, is stickers.
All right.
But I don't have an easy way of getting those out there. So, okay. So in this box, we have the two LRS 350 power supplies. And I'm only gonna open one. Oh, I'm gonna open both. Maybe you should too, since we're here. They are Meanwell, but the reason being is let's flip the switches on them.
Yeah, I never forget except for like in the most silly times, you know. And then I'm like, wait a minute.
And for us, it doesn't matter as much. It's not catastrophic to forget.
Yep, exactly.
Uh-oh. No. Sorry, I had to catch Charlie before he peed. So this is the 48 volt power supply, and then there's a 24 volt version of the same series.
350, 24, and 350, 48. Yeah, one time with the power supply early on, it was a kit printer that I'd got in, and I had no idea. I think it was maybe my first or second build, and I hadn't experienced a switching power supply where you got to manually switch it, and I just couldn't figure out why my bed wasn't able to get above like 45 or 50 C. And then when I figured it out, I felt so dumb. I'm like, oh man, it's something super simple as just flipping the switch.
Yeah. Yeah, Cerakote would be cool, and it's got a really cool color too, color and texture on Cerakote.
What is do you know roughly what the process is like for Cerakoting? I don't know.
I don't.
Okay.
I couldn't speak to it. I've seen it done,
yeah,
but I couldn't explain it. I don't remember it well enough.
Yeah, okay. I'll look into it. I mean, I've heard it talked about. It's a lot of times knives and things like that, right? They'll Cerakote?
I think so.
Okay.
There's a stepper box in here. It is the big chunky 60 millimeter stepper for the Z. It is LDO.
Wow.
And if anybody wants that actually focused right away, so that's amazing.
Yeah, so these are max power. Are the do we know if the steppers for the all-wheel drive are the super power LDOs or no? Are they not?
I believe so, but we'll be pulling that out here in a moment.
Yep. I haven't used those before. I know
Max
zombies
power.
use them. Max, is it max power up there or super?
That's what Zombie just said, max power. We'll see.
Okay.
These big centrifugal fans for the side fans are in here. These are Ingda technology, 24 volt. And then a box of black accessories, which are SSR, looks like some machined X carriage parts, the feet,
The Goliath.
thermistor,
The Goliath.
wires. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. And some more machined aluminum parts. And the star, one of the stars of the show, the Goliath hot end.
And I didn't know, Steve, before you'd mentioned it, that it was an AC hot end. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's nuts. I'm very, very excited to see what this beast is capable of.
And then the power inlet. Now there was some talk about the power inlets, some of them not being quite right. I verified with Mellow that you and I have the updated correct power inlets.
Okay.
And then the extruder. Oh, it's not AC. It's 24 volt.
Oh,
it's
really?
120 watts. Okay. I misread that.
Okay. Yeah, I was.
I don't know where I got the impression that it was an AC hot end. It's not.
Okay. It's still gonna be nuts though. I mean, 24 volts, 120 watts is no joke for a heating element.
So Ajax, it's not mains. That was my misspeak. I was incorrect. There was a test version in AC. Maybe that's what I remember seeing. Maybe I remember watching one of Simon's videos that had an AC version. Lisa, thank you. Thanks for doing this, and especially the cat cam. Awesome. Everybody likes the Charlie cam.
It's a real pretty extruder too.
Then, yeah, nice anodized aluminum. It's got their new helical or whatever. Not is that? Yeah, helical profile on the gears. An LDO 20 millimeter stepper. And then belts are in here as well.
Yep.
So, 30 minutes ago, I replaced my Ford Speedy Power for 4 superpowers. The AC version was really, really powerful, but overall, just a very silly thing to do. And yeah, it definitely something that's moving like that. The possibility for bad things to happen is probably a little too high for especially a retail kit. Now, Simon doing his amazing mad scientist stuff, that's one thing, but producing a kit with an AC hot end would probably smart to not do.
Mellow would make you sign a waiver at purchase. Nice says, Daniel, you need to go water cooled. Yeah, I'm gonna build this like as it is with Steve on the stream. But water cooling is something I've entertained for years for a 3D printer, and this feels like it would be an appropriate printer to upgrade at some point to the water cooling setup. I know they have like I've seen Simon working on like custom blocks for the steppers and all sorts of crazy looking things. So it's certainly something that I'm entertaining for the long. For the long run with this.
There's a few things that will be fun to do after the build.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. The guy that has the AC version did sign a waiver, according to PB Super.
That's hilarious. Do you want to pull the gantry out too?
Yep. Are we ready?
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let's finish off this other thing. So we got some fans, and then we have the Z. Did I open any of these yet? Yeah. We have the Z bearings, linear bearings. So that's these guys right here. So this is just for the Z rods. Jeff, thanks for the gifted memberships.
Do you know the thickness of the linear rods on this, Steve, or no?
It looks like 8 millimeters.
Okay.
And someone will correct me if I'm wrong, because I just said that off the top of my head.
It says LMK 10 LUU. I wonder if the 10 represents
I'm wrong.
10.
It's 10.
Yeah, it's 10.
It is 10.
Yeah, okay.
I just looked at the end and estimated, but I'm wrong. It's 10.
Yeah, okay.
There's 4 of them. 10 is good. Okay, we ready to pull this thing out?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to be extra careful so I don't lose any fasteners. But let's see what we have going on here.
Clean this really quick.
And we're going to need this here during our actual build today. So yeah, all these are loose it's okay for them to be, because everything needs to be redone basically on this. All these red parts are PLA. So you need to, here, all those red parts are PLA. These have been reprinted and will be replaced. So that's one of the tasks we'll have today, as well as building the rest of the frame.
It's kind of interesting though that they don't provide them in like ASA in just black for someone that just wants to rock and roll with what they've got, you know? Like they're small enough where warping isn't a huge issue for parts of these sizes. So, you know, but yeah, as long as it's crystal clear that it is PLA, it needs to be swapped out.
Oh, is that gonna?
Oh yeah,
focus
superpowers, man.
Yeah, superpowers.
Sick.
Superpower all along.
Have you used these, Steve, on any of your tridents like that?
Speed holes in the gantry. I do. I just installed the superpowers on my 250 Trident. That's about to get some other upgrades as well, including getting it set up finally with 24 volts. I just installed those as part of another minor series of changes, updating some parts.
You mean 48 volts, right?
What did I say?
24.
48. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going 48 on that thing. Okay.
PB Super is saying the machines Mellow uses are not set up for ABS ASA, so that's why the parts are PLA. They are primarily there for shipping and keeping everything in its place.
Gotcha. You would think since they've gone through trouble of printing and assembly, they would use better parts and just finalize it. Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe with time they will. Again, like I could see big parts, but with the size of these, they're just real small. Did you show off the carbon beam?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
If I can get it to focus. I don't have another hand to put behind there, so it is a carbon beam in there. Okay, so I'm gonna set this over here, and I think we're done with this layer.
Yep.
Can those PLA parts be replaced with metal, or are there no metal parts available for those items? I don't believe there are metal parts. There's some complex shapes on those as well, and they don't really need to be metal. They're kind of basically spacers between the metal plates. Some of them could be replaced. There's some cylindrical spacers, but some of the parts in the front idlers are a little more complex. Like those parts right there are pretty. Yeah, I think that would be a challenge. Needs a backer on the bottom of the x-axis. Is this Mellow's first full printer kit? That's a good question. I don't know.
I think it is. I don't know for certain, but I've followed Mellow for a while, and it's usually you know, like upgrade parts, not a full thing. Reshmer says, did I do a can video on my channel? I can't find it now. Yeah, I did. It was a couple months ago, so if you just go to recent videos, and the thumbnail is going to be from the Mercury 1.1 toolhead with some arrows pointing at it. Yeah, I did it in just the last couple months here.
This is the layer that saw the most shifting and shipping. All these, a lot of these parts are like over here. Luckily, there's protective coatings on the build sheet here because there are some scratches in it from things being out of place. I've put everything back in place, but there was a lot of this were not in their proper spots.
Yeah, one piece of tape over the top would probably solve all of it. Just one long piece of tape
across here, and maybe across here would probably be enough.
Yep.
The there's some marks on the texture side of the bed from rubbing on the silicone heater below it. I don't know. I haven't tried hard to see if they just rub out.
Hey, Max is here.
Hey, Max. Video audio quality is top notch. Broadcast quality even. Awesome.
Yeah, I've got light scuffing on the PEI, but I think that with some IPA, it'll probably come off. Smooth side looks okay.
Little 500 watt, 110 volt silicone heater, and then a aluminum build plate.
Is this build plate? It's not cast, is it? Because the lines on it.
Well, no, they've machined it flat, but I would hope. I don't know, but I would hope it is a cast. Mike 6 or Alc or whatever the other names for it are.
Gotcha. So they just took a beefy surfacing bit over the top of it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's those, and then all of this stuff. All these black parts are aluminum. Every bit of this is custom machined aluminum, and they're really nice.
Yeah. The anodization on these is definitely different than the 2020s. If you're just looking for comparison, like these, these look substantially more in line with like what that sheen that I'm used to seeing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Modbot's camera is shifted up.
What?
Huh, weird. I'm not gonna mess with it right now. It's not significant. Okay. I see it, but it's not significant.
You mean like the whole box, like the...
It looks like the whole box, yeah. The whole box shifted up. Then the big old piece of aluminum for the main bed plate.
Yeah.
With the VZ logo in it. And then some miscellaneous DIN rails and wire channels, and you got pulleys popped into little spots here, and Oldham couplers for the Z, little brass.
I don't know that I've used these before. Like I'm doing a mod right now that has a printed version of this, but I don't know that I've used these. I don't know that I've used these before.
Yeah.
At least certainly not machined ones like this, or brass ones like this.
And then lead screws and linear rods. 10 millimeter linear rods.
Yeah, 10 mil.
Okay, I don't think we need anything in this layer for today. So I'm gonna set this off to the side now.
I think that once we get to the bed, that's when we'll need this one. So
yeah. I think the last layer is panels and CPAP hose. So big old aluminum plate for the rear.
It's nice. It's nice. I'm sure it's going to help, make the whole machine more rigid having these panels on it.
And someone had mentioned it does look like some holes were drilled post machining. These holes here for the power supply, it looks like. Let's see how those line up.
Oh, yep.
Looks like deck panel or bottom panel. Aluminum, looks like 1/8 inch or 3 millimeter aluminum. And then a bunch of acrylic panels. One of them with this is the electronics cover on the back. And
it's just a vinyl sticker, but it's red.
It's got some hand drilled holes in it as well. Now I'm pretty sure feedback has been given. So if there's any issues with those, I'm sure it's going to be tweaked.
Yep.
Just a bunch of acrylic panels in here. Huh?
You said that someone called it out. Who noticed that?
I don't know. I was browsing the VZBot Discord.
Okay. Someone was talking about it.
Some comments on it.
Yeah, a lot of aluminum, a lot of metal parts in this. I'm going to move, I keep stacking stuff off to the side here, but I'm going to move some of this that we're not using out of the way. Oh.
I mean, then Max is commenting on the surfacing isn't normal because most of that's Mike 6 and stuff is surfaced from the factory. I couldn't guarantee that this is cast aluminum plate either. So.
Yeah, if you feel it, Steve, feel your plate. I can feel like a ridge where the bits like sort of met each other.
Yeah. Okay, so that, and then the CPAP hose is tucked along the outside here. So I'm gonna put this aside.
Printer D says the back panels on aluminum sheets were missing holes, and Mellow realized it and started to make the changes, but now new printers will come done.
Will come done, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
Ooh.
Awesome. I need more coffee. The plate is aluminum from what Mellow stated to me. Well, yeah, but is it cast aluminum is the question. Is it a tool plate?
This is a very weird Voron you're building.
Well, they're absolutely. Simon has said there's a lot of inspiration from Voron in the design. So, which is very cool to see. Okay, I think, are we ready to start playing with the frame?
I think so. Is there anything we're missing? Yeah, I think we're ready to rock and roll.
Okay. So if we go back to the docs.vzbot.org site.
I'm gonna just start by separating lengthwise these extrusions.
Yeah. So this is the VZBot 235 aluminum version. Now this says it's the aluminum version, and that's basically what the Mellow Kit is, but down into some of the details it's gonna vary, and it sounds like we're gonna have to figure out some of this as we go along. So.
I think a huge help already, I mean, just from what I'm seeing of the build guide, is for Mellow to take this build guide and you know, make edits to it based off of like their specific kit, just to leave to leave less questions on the table, you know.
So a little aside and a reminder, because we're about an hour in. There is the Polymaker filament giveaway at the 3-hour mark. What we try to do, because it's fun, and only because it's fun, is try to hit 300 likes by giveaway time. So let's see if we can keep that. We lost the streak in July at some point.
We're bringing it back.
We're bringing it back.
Steve.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're bringing it back.
It's the comeback. Okay.
Okay. So this is the build guide for the VZ235, and it's segmented into individual steps. So let's go to the frame. You know, last Sunday, we were short like 75 likes in the last 10 minutes, and we still made it.
Oh, to 300?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a Hail Mary. That's awesome.
Okay, so this is basically, we found out not quite, but this is basically what we're gonna end up with at the end. Now we found out that the feet don't actually go on yet. So it'd be nice if those weren't in the screenshot if they're not gonna be part of this step.
Yeah, basically we saw that they go underneath the bottom panel. So if you install them now, you'll be removing them when it comes time to put the panel on, so.
And it says the frame is assembled through a combination of blind joints, corner brackets, and blind corner brackets. Now the Mellow Kit doesn't include any corner brackets. It includes only the blind corner brackets. And the corner brackets are to help stiffen up the frame and are optional, though we highly recommend using them on every possible corner for best results. So the blind corner brackets, let me grab, I've made the mistake of setting all my stuff here, so let me redistribute my layers here because I need to get back to the fastener box.
Okay. Someone asked if Jason plans on making a kit, and I think I just saw someone tag Jason in it, and Jason had said that, at least as of right now, Mellow's the exclusive kit maker, but the LDO, this kit does have LDO motors and LDO rails, so they are Mellow is at least partnering up with LDO to make, the parts LDO, LDO does.
Yep. Okay, so I needed to get this box for the blind corner joints here.
Okay.
Is there a VZ version?
The set screws or the grub screws, Steve, on these just go straight into the extrusion. You don't need any kind of T-nuts or anything like that?
Correct, and I don't really like it. I have an aversion to driving fasteners into things like extrusions and lead screws.
Yeah.
I like clamping rather than that.
Yeah.
So.
It's a first for me. I haven't used. I mean, maybe I've used these once upon a time, but it's been a real long time if I have.
So we're being told the build plate is 5083 precision cast aluminum. So a cast aluminum plate is the key point there. Okay. Being a casting is a more temperature stable. It doesn't move as much when it heats up.
Versus
because there's
rolling, right?
a nagless or whatever the word is structure to the aluminum. If you roll it, yeah, then you end up with stress and lines of the structure that can cause that warping or movement when temperature changes.
Yeah.
And Brian, yeah, that's PB Super is saying there is if you go to the same docs.vzbot.org site, there's what's called EasyVZ, which is the VZBot equivalent to the Voron TIFF program. Okay,
are you kidding? Sorry, I was just reading. It says the gantry that Nero had to take all apart. The gantry has to come all apart regardless. I think you're mentioning because of maybe the screws or whatever Nero ran into, but the printed parts in the included gantry are all PLA. So even if the screws were tight, you would have to loosen them all. The majority, not all, but like the majority of them to replace all the printed parts with ASA or polycarb or whatever you're swapping out with.
So I guess I have a question for PB Super, because he's saying the corners are made with blind joints, and then you add either those internal or external corners for extra structural rigidity, but I'll make a list of what might have to change. Would the recommendation, are these, here, let me bring this up. Are these joints actually gonna make a difference putting these in? Or would we be better off sourcing some corner joints and post-installing those? Because these have to be installed as we build the frame. Now, my inclination, because we are building a Mellow Kit, is to include what Mellow includes and build it that way. But it's still, I'm not a fan of these.
I have a ton of the 2020 in black that I bought for the Mercury kit if we do end up doing that. But.
I think the smart choice is to build what it came with.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. For the sake of at least giving feedback on the kit in its current state.
Yeah.
PB Super says external ones are stronger indeed. I don't know these were in there. Wait, I didn't know that these were in there because I've also seen external ones in the kit, so it's a
point for the list. Yeah, the problem, so I keep going back and forth on this because the problem with these is if we build it with these, you have to completely disassemble the frame if you ever want to take them out. There's no going back. These go in and that's it. So, Colin is making a good point that I thought of as well, is checking them for squareness before committing. And I think I can do this fairly well. Just looking at putting them on the 1, 2, 3 block here. They are actually pretty square. If I look at the registered surfaces that are going to push against the extrusions, and I just index that into the side of my 1, 2, 3 block here, it is square. So that's good. At least this one that I'm checking right here. PB Super is recommending not using them.
Interesting. You can't use internal and external ones at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have the external ones already, so I'm almost wondering if we go without using them, and then you don't have them right now, right? Like you don't have the triangles.
I don't, but I'm not. I mean, every one of those I've ever bought, I've had to square up myself. Yeah. So I want to put these in because they came in the kit, but I don't want to put them in because it's a one-way street.
Yeah, you're done. Like if they're in, that's it. You're not.
Since we've got PB saying recommending not putting them in, I'm not.
Okay.
Buy the Masumi ones. Yeah, I should buy some Masumi ones and check those. Okay. I think the next thing we should do is replace these printed parts in the gantry.
Okay. Yep. That sounds like a plan. Move all this over here.
I know the idea, Steven is also saying play the ball where it lies, but just the whole, you can't change it without taking the whole printer apart means I'm never going to change them in the future.
Yeah,
so.
same here. If it was something that wouldn't require a complete disassembly, it would be not a big deal at all. But it's just.
And it sounds like the 330 kit comes with the external joints, so.
Yeah.
Christian, are you a member of my Discord? And if you're not, there's a link in the description. But if you can post that part number to me in one of the channels there, that would be awesome. Okay, I have printed parts to replace the bits in here, and I don't know what order we should go in doing this.
I just started unscrewing things.
Just start unscrewing things. Just go for it.
Yeah, I've got the front side facing towards me, so like the parts with the nut traps, and I remove the two screws and the standoffs in the back. But yeah, I'm not sure if there's a better, if there's a smart kind of attack or what the best route to go is, but. The front ones look fairly easy to just take off kind of one by one.
I'm gonna pull the stepper screws out here, and I think just kind of work on identifying where the screws go.
Yep.
Mike 4D, you're absolutely right. Says, I guess you were just looking for an excuse not to use them, as they are bad. Good decision. And we'll do, maybe the smaller ones are enough, actually. I'll post both. Thanks, Christian, I appreciate it. Is there no build manual? There is a build guide, Kilo, and that's what we're following here. So talking about, but the particular Mellow changes aren't covered here. And replacing all these printed parts are not part of the, are specific to the Mellow kit. With your permission, if it's okay, may I place my Discord link? Mostly it's used for ticket issues, parts requests, and new products. Yeah, Print3D. If you are you on my Discord? If you send me, or just send it to me in Discord, and I'll post it here. Maurice, they print these parts in PLA because that's what they have the capabilities of doing mass parts printing with at their facility. So.
My spacers look slightly different than.
What's on there?
Just make sure you look at the spacers, because so one of them has more of an aggressive curve to them.
Thanks, Arizona Cowboy 1. It's a slightly irritating issue I had building my 2.4 and M to go between 2 or 3 different build guides. Yeah. I'm gonna switch you over, Daniel, if you want to show. I'm gonna switch over, do our guest presenter mode for the first time.
Sure. Okay. Give me the steering wheel, Steve.
There you go. You have it.
All right. Cool. So let's go to the side. Okay.
Just gone 2 a.m. here, so I'm out. See you, Physistech. Thanks for being here. So these are not symmetrical, and I don't know if that's what you're trying to get at.
Yeah, so I'm looking at these, and I can't tell on these spacers how many different actual ones there are. Like, 2 of the printed ones that I got in the EZVZ kit look identical, and then the other 2 also look identical. So it looks like there's 2 different types. I'm just not sure. Like, the ones that I'm replacing that were in PLA look slightly different. I can show them here. So, like, let me put it on camera here. So here's the red's the printed ones that it came with, and the black is the one, like one of the ones that came in the EZVZ kit. And it just, it looks slightly different. And so I don't know if maybe the Mellow ones aren't the latest version or what, but it's slightly, it makes me question which one goes where.
I agree, and so I actually printed these. So little disclosure, I reprinted these parts because of what we talked about with the EZVZ program and being a little confusing as to what's an accent and what's not. So my provider provided all these parts in black when I wanted some additional accent pieces. So I reprinted these in the accent color.
Gotcha.
But this is what you're seeing. I ended up printing all of these, but actually looking at it, I should have printed 4 of these based on what's coming off the printer here. And I only printed 2.
Well, I think they changed things up because what I've got is exactly what you're showing there. Like what was provided to me in the EZVZ program is the exact same thing. So
these guys?
I think that I think that the one that has the sharper chamfer on it, is going on the outside. It kind of matches the motor mount for the stepper motor. If you line up that, I don't know if you can see. Let me try to show you. Let me see.
So, PB Super is saying the thicker ones go on the 2020 side and the smaller ones go on the internal side. Now, if I pull this off, the gantry here, they're both these smaller ones. Straight off of here. However, it's sounding like we can grab one thicker one and put it here and one thinner one and be okay.
Yeah, the thing that I'm not certain of, so I'm quite confident on the thinner one on the outside that I've got it lined up correctly, because it just, if you line it with the CNC'd part, it kind of only goes one way, but the one that goes with the 2020, I'm not sure direction-wise which way it goes. So there's one corner of it.
Someone's mentioning and reminding us we have CAD.
Yeah.
So let's look at that.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull it up. So if we pull this up and bring up the CAD file here. Mellow just used the same ones for everything, so I'll let them know. That's what PB Super is saying. So it sounds like they came assembled wrong. We have the right parts. We just have to figure out what orientation they go in.
Okay.
So I'm going to go in here, and zoom is reversed on here, which is irritating. I'm going to click on this and hide it so I can get to this one and does that help? This CAD is not gonna be ideal.
No, it kind of fights you.
Yeah.
Printed standoffs.
I got it. Individual things.
I got it, Steve.
Huh? Oops.
I got it, Steve.
You got it?
Yeah, man. If you want to show, I got a good shot of it.
You got a good shot? Okay.
Yeah. So I did have the top left correct, because again, it's just much more obvious, but the inner one, so the inner one has one side that's basically flat, and the other side has 2 sort of chamfered or filleted edges, and the smaller fillet goes on the top, and you can see the larger one goes on the bottom, kind of curves in. Like, so.
I see that, and I think I've got this one correct now. Awesome. And PB Super is saying I can flip zoom in the settings. I've never used this web version. I always use the client.
I haven't used this either before.
Flat side of the big one, and then the chamfer towards the pulley, and then, yeah, exactly like that. Okay. To here, actually here, and zoom in. So you can see that on my screen, right? Right here.
Yep. Oh, you're doing the opposite side of me, it looks
apparently.
like. Yeah. It's perfect. It's better that way. All right.
Is there any particular reason for this instead of using all the same? I don't know. In Fusion, use isolate to see just one part, except if I have to remove parts that are in front of it, then I need to hide those before I can get to that part. That's in this web interface is different. So that's okay. We're getting it. Now I have to decide, I'm gonna do one side at a time here.
Yeah, me too, exactly. I don't want
And I'm gonna carefully turn this thing over, hoping not to lose any parts, so I can get to these.
I like watching, it's fun watching or doing this because like I can see how different you do things than me. Like you flipped it over, I got low to the ground and just removed them from down low. Like, you know, it's just small things like that, you know? Like all right, so nuts come out.
Well, that's interesting. This is hilarious. So PB Super is gonna like this, and maybe let my provider see this and Simon see this. Because let me see if I can grab another part. Bear with me. Oh, here it is. Okay. So this is the printed part that my EasyVZ provider provided. Okay. And he printed it with this surface as the build plate surface. So it printed like this. Now, the problem I see is that these two surfaces here are your reference surfaces bolting between these two plates. So those should be your most accurate faces. Printing it like this, any print artifacts end up making this not an even surface, which I don't think is ideal. So he printed it with this surface down. Mellow printed it with this surface down.
All
they printed
ways.
it like this. Which actually makes a whole lot of sense from a parts like feature orientation. I printed them with one of the side surfaces down because these side surfaces are your reference surfaces, right?
Yeah. Someone asked if they were gonna hold up like Olympic scorecards based off the way we do things in our builds.
Now, the drawback of the way I printed it is the model does not have any compensation for the floating holes in here. So I need to go in here and clean up some filament. So this could be easily fixed with the cross bridge setup method for the unsupported holes. But
You're talking about for the lock nuts? Or not
yeah,
the lock nuts,
for
but
the nuts, yeah.
Yep. I don't know if we need to reuse the nuts that were in this, but I am. I found it easiest on the PLA ones to just break the M3 nuts out versus trying to get a couple of them out. They were stuck pretty well.
Oh, probably, yeah. Kilo, this is basically a spacer. There's a plate on each side of this face. That's why I figure this basically goes right like this between two plates. So that's a funny one. I'll put a note down. We're also changing the parts to have a cross bridge indeed for unsupported holes. Perfect. That's exactly what I was going to suggest, PB. Are you still there?
Me?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You got really quiet, and I wasn't used to that.
Oh, no, sorry, I'm concentrating. The one of the nuts, like, because I was down low, the nut that I was trying to get this bolt into, it was spinning on me, so I was really concentrated to try to, like, wedge it into the corner. Yeah. Yeah, when I'm silent, it's usually something's wrong or I'm concentrating.
Yep. So I'm gonna pull all these, and basically doing what you're doing. I'm breaking, I'm just using a X-Acto knife.
I found it easiest. Two of them came out pretty easily, but the other ones were a pain, so I just broke them out. We won't be using them.
Nope. And then okay, so those are all out. This part's going away, and we can put this all in here.
Are you fully, so like right now I'm replacing the parts, and are you fully clamping down these screws after, or are you gonna leave them semi-loose until?
I'm gonna leave them semi-loose for right now. Okay, now I need to make sure I grabbed the right one. And make sure at least I have the correct orientation here, because these aren't symmetric. If you look at them close, they're not.
Yep.
So if I put this Which one?
They're mirrored, right? I think they're mirrored.
Okay, so this one goes over here. I need to grab this other one for over here. Yeah, they're mirrored. So let me clean up this one. Hey, Letian.
Stylish burn. Modbot is hiding. Yeah, exactly. So these this has to do with belt tensioning, right? It must be, because I see the slots that are in the top of them.
Yeah, I believe the tensioning is done with the front idlers here.
Yeah. So that makes sense. If you loosen the T-nuts on the right side, this has the ability to completely slide. Uh-oh.
There we go.
What?
To me, that printer looks complicated. I don't think it's any more complicated than any of the other builds. Now this front, that little hex nut in the front is going to be a little bit of a pain. So I'm going to grab temporarily one of the M4 screws, because I'm pretty sure that's M4.
Yep. It helps.
I'm just going to throw
doing it the way I did it. If you just go from underneath, because it sort of just stays in place at friction, or stays in place there. Okay, I think I got one down. Well, am I waiting on the second one, or just move on ahead?
Well, annoyingly, go ahead to the second one, but annoyingly, mine, the hex nuts are just spinning in here.
Mine were doing the same. That's why when you asked me if I was still there, I was trying to figure out how to make. I
wasn't going to tighten them. I was just going to get them. Jamming a screwdriver in the end here to just kind of lock one of the faces seems to have.
Exactly what I was doing down low when you asked me, "Where are you?" I didn't say anything because I was like, let's see if Steve has them spin on him too. All right, moving on to the next one.
Something. Find my.
Also, I'm building a VZ230.
There it is. Okay. I'm doing just a quick cleanup of the top surface of these printed parts. Okay. Just to make for a better setup. Okay, so that goes there. Oops, same thing. Clean these up. Especially small parts where there's the plastic tends to bunch up a little bit no matter what you do.
Better to do that than suffer later on when you realize that you've got a little bit too much too much plastic on all the parts.
Hey, Poor Boy Channel and Make RS. Yes, I do believe square nuts would be better there.
Oh yeah, because then they wouldn't spin. Exactly. Just slot
they're less likely to spin, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this plate can go back on here. Let me shift this so people get a better view. These go in here.
I'm gonna double check the CAD for the other motor mount just to make sure. I mean, I'm assuming it's mirrored, so it's gonna be the exact same setup. Let's see. Standoffs. Printed standoffs. There we go. Yeah, it's the exact same thing. So
these pieces are interestingly not really indexed.
You mean in the CAD or?
No, these spacers. They kind of just have to be kind of held in place and shifted into place.
Yep. Okay, let me get down below.
Mr. Minden, thanks for the gifted memberships.
Fabrico said, oh, it says Fabrico Sham?
Fabrico Shammy. Now, is that Mad Shammy? Are you on a different account?
Says your youngest fan says hi, Steve.
Oh, that's Mad Jammy then. Hey. Hey, Dr. Dave.
Oh, nice out.
Oh, there we are. Oh, I missed the super chat. Thank you.
If I didn't have the screaming sound effect on my stream in my ear, I probably would also miss some. Okay. I dropped one.
This is not ideal on these front hex nuts. They are all spinning.
I used, I think I just put some force, like upward force into them, and that sort of let them catch on.
Yep, I got them to catch. It's just...
Oh, you're dropping stuff.
Hey, Collie. Does this kit come with a fly pie? No, it does not come with a pie.
Oh, Mellow has their own, version of like a Raspberry Pi essentially.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess that makes sense because the Fly Gemini that I'm running on the V0 has a SoC, and they have their own like Fly Mellow or whatever their OS image is for Linux and Clipper and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I can't get this last nut out.
So one side is done. Do the other side.
I'm gonna just break this. What we trying? VZBot 180. It's always the last one.
What's that?
It's the last M3 nut is putting up a fight. Like I had to pull out the needle nose pliers. It's like it's just not. It does not want to exit its little cavity here.
Okay, so that's that. These can go away. Clean these up.
There we go. All right.
Something we didn't say in the beginning is no, my viewers are used to me going 4 or 5 hours when sometimes we're going to be keeping these streams to 3 to 4 hours.
Yep. Because Daniel doesn't have the stamina to keep going for every. I don't know. Like I'm either 0 or 100 typically, and I think that Steve does a better job of like pacing. Well, yeah, usually after. I mean, the longest streams I do are normally 3.5, 4 hours, but because we're streaming twice a week, I think that a 3-hour window is probably a pretty good amount. I
agree.
You can blame me though. It's my fault, Steve. Steve would, if I told Steve like, "Hey, dude, we're doing 6-hour marathons," Steve would be on board. I know he would. He'd be like, "Hell yeah!" So I'll absolutely take responsibility for the reason why the streams are shorter than what Steve would like. Uh-oh.
We got 3 hours. Vector took 7 videos at 5 hours, 3 just for wiring. Oh yeah, we expect this to take a good while. But remember, we're streaming twice a week, so. Since we each stream once a week, we're streaming on each other's channels and alternating.
Yep. Hoping I didn't. Nope, this is right. Cool. I was worried for a second. You know the front piece with the nut traps that are mirrored? For a second, it looked like I got 2 of the same one. And it concerned me, but no, it's just me. Daniel's an infant. Don't talk about stamina. You have the infant. Thank you, Steven.
This is true.
But yeah, I mean, even, I don't know, just, yeah. I need naps. Steve knows. Yesterday, me and Steve were supposed to hop on a call to like go through some stuff, and I messaged him later in the day. I was like, "Hey, I took a nap." So, all right.
It's so easy to take naps when you have an infant.
Yeah, well, it's just, when the kiddo goes down, usually Erin tries to get stuff done. She's like, all right, I got to clean bottles and do dishes and all this stuff. And I'll often walk over to her and be like, or we can take a nap. And so like, I'm always, like, oh, or like, yeah. So she would probably be more productive if it wasn't me, like, sort of like angel and devil on shoulder about nap time stuff. But I don't know, whatever.
Thanks for being a member. I can do a 235 in about 2 to 3 days. 1 day for hardware and 1 or 2 days for the electronics. That says something when it takes longer to do the electronics than the build itself.
Who said that?
PB.
Oh.
It's easy to take naps when you get old and the garage gets hot. Streaming,
Yeah,
absolutely. Streaming build is always slower than an offline build.
Oh gosh. Yeah,
by a
long
lot.
shot. I'm actually fairly productive, and you know, I can focus quite well when it's just me in my room with the printer. But you get me on stream, and it's like, you know, squirrel this, squirrel that, and all over the damn place. Okay, I got the bottom ones in. Dropping the top.
Oh, that's interesting. Are there actually? How does that work? Huh. Okay. What?
You looking at the tensioning mechanism, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's basically you loosen the two M4s, right, on the right side, and then it can slide in the extrusion. That's what pulls it.
Is that what's going on?
Well, how would it slide? No, how would it
There's
slide?
an extra machine part in here. Let's take this apart. I want to find out. Oh, well, I can take it apart. Oops. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Oh. I'm gonna take this back apart because I want to see.
Oh, on the underside you're talking about, there's another slotted piece.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't understand how the top piece is going to move, considering there's the two holes inside of this nut trap thing. But oh no! I see it.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull that out. Pull these screws out just so I don't lose them, and then I think I can. So this is here, but how does the? Oh, it is. It just slides on the side. Okay.
Yeah.
I turn this on the side. There's a bolt right here.
And it's a slot too down low, so it also.
So now that goes like that. If I pull this a little looser, can I pull this? There we go. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is clever. This is the stepper mount, and the screws, there's an extra machine plate here. The two screws, let's just make sure these are tight. Those turned about a 1/16 of a turn. Makes me feel like I might want to tighten them all up. There's a threaded point here. So now on the mating part here, there are slots in the front here that those screw heads go into that kind of help index everything, keep it straight.
You think that I should take off the motors? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
I'm almost done with my second one tightened down. I hear Steve saying that he can turn them. I'm gonna leave him for now.
And this goes in here. Now there's a T-nut in here that makes this tough. I don't want to lose the T-nut. There we go. That's back in there. This is our tightening. What do we got? I'm gonna go clean my shop while listening to y'all build. Have fun, Max. Okay.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. So in order to tighten these belts, like let's say there's belts rounded around them. So what you're seeing is you're loosening the two bolts on the top. You loosen this bolt that's underneath.
You loosen this bolt, and that allows this whole thing, and probably the two on top here, that allows this to shift.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So the aluminum bracket does not move. It's the motor.
Correct.
Okay. I think I see it.
Now I hope that this whole aluminum bracket is in the right spot. I guess we'll find out when we put it together. 3 hours later, all of Steve's pre-assembled parts are taken apart. Well, yeah, pretty much. Okay. Yes, 2 bolts for the spacers and the M4 bottom one, you loosen those 3. Yep.
2 bolts.
Now the question is, my question right now is, can I rely on where this fixed bracket is? Because there's a screw here that gets covered up with the stepper bracket. So if I have to shift this along the extrusion, I can't. So they do look to be in the same spot either side. Yep. So I'm gonna assume they're okay and go with it.
Best. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The bolt, the second plate, so like the plate that's sandwiched between the outer plate and the inner extrusion. Yeah.
The fixed one, the fixed plate.
Yep.
Printed part hit the floor. Did it? Yeah, well, here's one, here's one. They should be in the correct spot, yes. But I get your idea, yeah. I'm just looking for potentials.
I just saw that there's blocks inside of the carbon fiber rods that look like they need to come out as well.
Well, that's interesting. Do they?
Do you see them, right? What I'm talking about? There's on the left and right. There's red blocks, and there's I see them printed in this Easy VZ. So I'm assuming they need to come out.
Probably.
Today's gonna be a disassemble to reassemble stream, I think.
Yep. Yep. That's okay. We're gonna do it right.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you do? Yeah. You can come in. Aaron's got my dirty matcha.
Ah. It's been an hour already. Hour and a half already. Holy moly.
Yeah. Ooh, thank you very much. Have a sip. Oh, you haven't made one yet for yourself?
No.
Oh, thank you.
It goes like that.
Ooh, that's delicious.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, thank you.
Can I have one?
Steve wants one as well. Okay, yeah. She said she's gonna see what kind of shipping options they have. It's warm now.
Is that correct?
So, thank you. Thank you. I will.
Those blocks prevent the crushing of the carbon fiber tube when tightening the bolts. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense. Yep. Because they're literally just a square with 2 or 3 holes in them. Okay, so I've left all of the bolts semi-loosened, Steve. So nothing's tightened until we get this in the frame, and then I'll go through and tighten everything up.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's smart. I'm almost caught up.
Yeah, no worries. Gives me a chance to re-chat. Square the frame again, most important.
Yep.
Modbot's camera window is higher than Steve's. Yeah, something happened earlier where it shifted.
Here, let me see if I can fix that real quick. Folks
It's
are gonna lose a little bit.
Yeah. Oh no. I think I'm lower now, but it's all right.
It's better.
Yeah, it's better.
We'll have to do some tweaking off camera.
Yep. Troy said Jackson time. I think Jackson's sleeping. Either that or he's watching watching TV. He was watching, I don't know what he was watching earlier, but it was some kind of musical thing. The funny thing with kid music stuff is that it gets stuck in your head, man. The jingles and the songs and all of his toys are constantly, it's all me and Aaron sing now. Before him we were singing, whatever songs were in our head from the radio, but now it's all baby songs. 226 likes so far. Okay, we got to get, what is that, 74 more than before. And what time are you doing? The giveaway at, Steve? You said 3 hours in?
In an hour and 20 minutes. Yep.
Okay, all right. Modbot, are you drinking out of a jar? Yes, Aaron loves mason jars. We love mason jars. We pretty much have all sorts of the handle ones. She uses small ones for some of the spice bags. I mean, we have all sorts of, yeah. And we love mason jars here.
So we've got an hour and 20 minutes. I think our record is like 400 and something likes at the 3-hour mark.
Dang. What stream was that?
Oh, I don't remember.
Okay.
It's okay. So these are done on mine.
Yep.
And I can put this in 4x12. Yeah, in 4x12 back. There we go. Okay, these little pieces, these little brackets are super easy to replace, I hope.
The outer ones are.
Now,
the inner ones
do
are
we
the
have
ones
to
that have
pull
my
all of
concern.
this apart to get to those carbon fiber pieces?
So it looks to me, Steve, like when we take off the top one that you said is really easy, that's the screw that's going through the block.
Ah.
Yeah, so that's going through the block into the M3 nylon lock nuts on the bottom. That's
Oh, it goes all the way through.
It does, right? Yeah, it does.
Interesting. Okay. Well, let's pull it.
I don't think I have a small
It's a
wrench for the M3.
5.5 millimeter nut driver.
Okay. I'm just going to use my little nylon lock nuts for...
And there's not really enough space between them to get a nut driver onto it anyway. I kind of got it crammed on there to work enough. And for the carbon fiber tube, take out the 2 bolts holding them into the Y gantry, and you can pull it a bit diagonal and then take out the carbon fiber tube. Awesome. That's good to know.
I'm glad you know what that... I didn't fully grasp what you just said.
So this little printed part is held by long screws that go all the way through the carbon fiber tube. So, and then that makes the whole thing pretty loose here. So we'll be able to pull these out.
Oh, wow. Yep. So how are you
everybody should say hi, Aaron.
I want to see a close-up, Steve, of how you're going to be pulling this tube out. I'm just curious.
Yep, I'll turn the gantry over on its front here in a second.
Okay. Are you removing the tube from the other side right now? Is that what you're doing?
Yep. I got both of them out. Okay. And then I'm going to set this thing down here, and basically I'm going to pull one. There's some stoppers in the rail here to keep this thing from flopping around. I'm going to pull one of those out. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. And then I should be able to move this. See that?
No, I almost dropped my gantry. I was listening to what you were saying though. One sec, let me one sec. I gotta get this last note.
I've built a V-Core, a Voron, and a VZBot. The VZBot is the best Core XY I've built of the 3. The bed is the only drawback, having rods and screws. Adapting kinematic makes it the best alongside a keyboard. Nice.
Okay. All right. I've got them out. Now I saw you said you laid it down, you took out one of those stoppers.
Take one of the stoppers out, and then this whole thing, you can just move one, and it just pulls right out.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's literally only held in by 2 bolts, this carbon rod?
Yeah. And then we've got some pieces here that are just a crush, just a spacer.
Can I get it?
So now the question is, do I have those parts? Because I didn't reprint those.
Mine came with them. I hope yours did.
Probably. I'm sure they did. I've got a bunch of parts here. They're probably in here somewhere. I think this is my, yeah, I think they're in there. That's the carbon fiber polycarbonate bag.
The my carbon fiber parts going back in were much tougher to like, I don't think I'm getting it back out is what basically I'm getting at. It was much easier to get the PLA out than it was to get the carbon fiber part in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had to press pretty hard?
I did, yeah. Like, it's a one-way street. I don't think it's just coming back out in my end, Steve. Unless I push all the way through, then maybe. But yeah, it's...
You got the
Here's
holes
the
on the
secret.
bottom. They might be. What in the world is that? Oh, here's a little bit of a potential issue here on this. Let's find out if it is or not. Okay. Let's see if I can articulate this. This is the part that came out. And maybe you can pay attention and see if yours are the same. You see on this side, there's the space detents on the ends. So this is the part that came out. It's got clearance spots for the screws in the Y carriage. The part that came in the printed set doesn't have those. So
I don't think it needs it. I'm looking at it. Right. I don't think it needs it.
okay, hopefully not.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. Like, it does cut into the square, but something tells me that it's not, because it's inside of the carbon tube and not sticking out. I don't think that it sticks out far enough to actually
As long as it's
fully
not
get.
sticking out.
Yeah, we'll see.
And I think I'm in the same boat as you.
Tighter, right?
this-
Yeah. I had to
yeah.
put some good force to get it in.
I'm gonna do a little.
Smarter,
Take-
the smarter
take
way of
down
doing
the-
it versus.
Huh?
You're doing the smarter thing.
Well,
I just, yeah, I two-thumbed it while you're
the
filing
print
it.
artifacts, like here, you can see where I'm filing and the high spots. You can see the high spots.
Yep.
So I think those
Yeah.
those high spots, a little bit of PA tuning maybe. I don't know on this because there's.
I can confirm, Steve, that the it's not an issue that the new parts don't have those. So
Okay.
I don't know whether they shrunk the carbon tube ever, like, you know, by a couple mil or whatever, but the printed part doesn't actually interface with that since it's inside the tube.
Okay.
Yeah, but good call, because that totally would have been an issue.
There should be 4 spaces in the Easy VZ bag that might have to go between the aluminum piece and the carbon fiber tube.
What?
The opening is 21
Oh.
millimeters and the carbon fiber tube is roughly 20 millimeters. Use those spacers to fill the gap. What do we... Oh, they seem to... Oh, there is a space here.
You're saying when you slide it back into those metal parts?
So I think I know what PB is talking about. And let me...
Yeah, it came
Yeah.
with shims.
Yep, you see them somewhere? Should they go
Yeah, I do.
below
They're
or
real
above?
thin.
Should they go below or above? PB.
I'm missing something.
I'm gonna...
I don't have one of the stops. I don't think, Steve.
What stops?
Like,
Oh,
you know, we
the
took
one
out
on
this,
top?
Yeah, I've got one in carbon fiber black. I'm going through it all. There's not that much stuff here for me to look through, but I don't see a second one.
Okay. That should be easy to replace later, at least.
Yeah.
Put the red one back on for now.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 4 included. Okay.
Unless it flew off somehow. Let me do
There we go.
this.
That slid in with some reasonable friction that time.
How many shims are you using?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I haven't grabbed them yet.
Okay. But the
Fitting
shims
these.
are going. The shims are going outside of the tube.
Yeah, they go between the top and bottom of the tube and the metal part here. 'Cause
Gotcha.
if you set
Okay.
this in there, there is some vertical play there.
yep.
And we want to get rid of that because we don't want to bend these aluminum pieces. Just gonna do some filing on this, and I'm not gonna do this sitting over all the printed parts or all the gantry there. I'm gonna get
One shim is plenty for mine.
one shim is plenty.
Yeah, it really snugs it up. I don't know if I want it on the top or the bottom. The bottom, I don't think it'll be.
That's what my question was too.
What?
Been said, but don't forget the spacers between the aluminum pieces and the hinge and carriages. Yeah. Oh, there's some aluminum pieces here too, between these, and these are aluminum. I've printed those as well because I didn't know what they were.
I'm almost wondering if I should print out those two parts. I've got like black ASA right here. I can throw on can have it printed in like 10 minutes probably.
Some are a bit wider than 20 millimeters and some are a bit tighter. So just, if you're shimming it and you only shim one side, PB, should it be the top or the bottom that you shim?
Gantry.
Bottom may be easier since you can put the bolt in first and then the spacer.
Yeah, I think I might just loosely, Steve, put the red ones back in, both of them, and then I'll end up reprinting 2 of them.
Yeah.
Probably
right
just
color.
a regular black ASA. Yep.
Hey, Monkey Butler. Okay, I'm gonna see if I have these spacers. I remember seeing them. It's just finding them. Probably in here.
That's a real tight fit with these spacers on mine.
Might want to sand them down to
make them a little thinner.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can.
You're not making it easy. I'm trying to save money here, not buy more printers. Isn't that my job? Hey, don't knock it.
I might. God.
Hey, Queasy driver. Yeah, so anybody who has trouble with YouTube notifications, that's a big reason why I started my Discord, is so I could ping folks. You can opt into pings on my server to get notified of the streams. And I usually post about half an hour or so before every stream. Oh, there they are. Found them. And there's 2.
I'm gonna really quickly move my extrusions, just make sure I didn't misplace that piece.
These are like 2-layer thick, but lots of roughness there. So I'm gonna clean these up.
Oh.
What did we find out? Should they be, if there's only one, should we put it on the top
Bottom.
or the bottom? Bottom?
Bottom. He said bottom because it'll be easier to get the bolts through first and then do that. But in my case, I had to do them at the same time. Like with the carbon rod in, I don't have enough wiggle room to shove the printed shim in. They have to kind of go in at the same time because they sort of sandwich each other.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense. We can probably loosen the bolts for the things here, and that might let it go in a little easier.
yeah.
Loosen the bolts for the idlers.
See if I can get these through really quick. Okay, I got one side through. Did it have wiggle when we got this, or no? The red cubes that were installed were thicker.
Well, and I didn't really try to wiggle things.
Yeah, I didn't either. I'm wondering if the red cubes were slightly thicker than the ones we installed.
But those aren't going to expand the carbon fiber. I think it was just we didn't wiggle them.
Yeah.
To check for play before.
Yeah, we didn't do the wiggle test.
We didn't wiggle. Wiggle. These are funky. Okay.
Well, I got one of these shims in and tightened up, but I think I feel like this other one's gonna fight me.
Okay, so this goes in like this.
Actually, I think I got it.
Oh yeah, that is interesting that it's got a... Oh yeah, that's good. I think I'm gonna put these on the bottom though, because I think it's just gonna look better.
Yeah, I did the same thing for purely aesthetic reasons. I'm like, I want style points. Because I got these 2 screws in already and the shims, I'm gonna really quickly see if I can find the STLs for these and send them off.
Okay. Making
I
sure
didn't see the M3 nuts
the
yet,
load LDO on the carriage is correct.
facing the right way.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I was
Important.
like, knowing me, I'll put them backwards. I'm like, what's ODL? Okay.
Okay,
Cool.
now I need to work. Raise these. There we go.
Easy.
I glued the spacers onto my extrusion. It's hard to get them in for me. This is a good fit right here now for mine.
With the single spacer, right?
Uh-huh.
With the single spacer?
Yep.
Yeah, it made a huge difference. I thought it was gonna need both because of the amount of wiggle room that there was, but yeah, one of them made all the difference.
Well, it all depends on what the printed settings were for that.
Mm-hmm. So this must be the X tube end. No, that's not it. Trying to find what that part's called.
Oh, you didn't have the inside piece also?
No, so I need the inside pieces. I'm good on. Like the blocks are already in place, and the shims. I need the little stoppers at the ends. Whatever.
These
I
guys?
just don't know what. Yeah, I only have one, so I'm gonna just really quickly print out 2 that match each other.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're. I'm trying to find them in the GitHub. I don't know what they're called.
These are 6mm belts, Devin.
X tube end Y switch mount. Okay, no, that's not it. It's not the Y switch mount.
And one more of these. Oh, where are we at? We got to be getting real close to 300 likes already, right?
I haven't checked. Let me refresh. We're getting there, but we got a little more work to put in.
A little more work.
Yeah, if you haven't hit the like button, check to see if it's working on your end.
Oh, 258.
I can't find the stinking piece. Does P Super or PV Super? Do you know what the STL is called or the file I'm looking for? The little end piece that goes on the top of the X rod. I am not seeing it. It's under the Gantry. Motor idlers, miscellaneous. Let's see if I just search these things.
The holes through these little spacers in there are a little tight, so I have to actually thread these through.
You're saying when you're trying to push them through, the screw's not able to go through?
Yeah, so I'm just kind of threading it.
Yeah, I think I did the same. I had to put some force. I mean, as long as it stays in place, you know, which it will, being clamped down, it should be fine.
I'm gonna do something that nobody on here is expecting me to do.
What is that?
Use my ES15. Oh, it's too much. Okay, no ES15. Let's try the Hodo. Do I have the right driver for that? Do. Okay. Hodo time. Ah.
I'm jealous. I've got my little WoW stick over here that can't do anything really.
The Hodo has some torque. The ES15 isn't bad, but the Hodo definitely has a lot more torque. And I'm not gonna drive. I'm letting those cool down. I don't want to melt everything.
All right. Thank you, Steven. You got me the STL. All right. Let's fire this up.
Make sure these are all lining up the printed spacer here. Oh, there we go.
All right.
Needs more DeWalt impact driver.
X and stop.
Hi, Charlie.
Okay.
Okay, let those cool down.
All right, I officially sent them off. So the STL is in the 235 GitHub and aluminum parts, aluminum watch. Cool. Yeah, I found it. Thank you, PB. I was looking in the wrong spot. I, for some reason, thought it was under Gantry. What are you using that for, Steve?
What?
What are you using that for?
Because the spacer in there. All right, Charlie.
Needed a little extra.
It's a little tight. The thread or the holes through it. The screws didn't just slide through, so I'm just threading them through.
Are your spacers at an angle? My spacers are at an angle.
Spacers are at an angle on the little printed spacers.
Yeah.
Well, once the screws go through, it should straighten them up, right?
Not if you created your own holes. I mean, yeah.
Whatever.
It'll be okay.
They're acting as a spacer, right?
Yeah. Yeah, mine are a little bit kinked, but
not if you created your own holes. That's funny.
Inspect Charlie.
Okay, so I think these can just be tightened. There's no reason, as long as these are indexed to the back of the printer, these can just be tightened up.
You talking about the M3 nuts again?
Yeah. This whole thing, these four M3 bolts.
Yeah.
Charlie's getting some food.
I'm gonna leave them completely loose for right this second. Just because once these parts are done, it should just take a second to swap out. I just don't want to put the M3 lock nuts back on and have to just remove them in 20 minutes.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I'll leave them like this and then move on to the I think the final section of this, which is the last couple spacers.
Yeah, which looks super easy.
Yeah, I think we can even just take out, the, oops, I hit myself in the face. I never claimed to have great depth perception, but yeah, I completely whacked myself with the front of the gantry.
Oops.
Anyways, I think that we can just take out the top screw and slide those out and slide it back in. Oh, geez.
Okay. So
they're already kind of loose.
Those are in place. I'm gonna put the little bumper back on here. It's interesting that they're not in the...
Hey, Kylo's and H is here. What's up, buddy?
Actually, I pulled this out. Hey, Kyle. Actually, we're gonna move these up. Just put this right.
Damn, I might have to sand like you were doing.
Do some sanding.
I might have to. I was able to slide the standoff out, but the new one again with that little bit of extra something. I don't know if I've got it.
You're talking about these octagonal shaped?
Yeah, yep, exactly. I don't think I got sandpaper in here, but I do have my handy dandy file set.
These files, I need to find the equivalent because I have no idea where I bought these, but these are just super handy. Just the right size for not too big, not too small.
Chat convinced me to buy this on stream the other day.
Oh.
It's
Sure.
everything, man. Like it even came with white gloves. So I put gloves on the first time I used it just for like because it came with everything. So because chat was making fun of me when we were doing the ERCF and I didn't have any good files. Like I just had big files for woodworking, and so I went out and bought this guy. Now I'm like, I've got every file I'll ever need.
Nice.
So yeah. Yeah, I'll just use this to sand down these little guys.
There we go. Okay, so let's go back here. This is just screw and spacer. This is the easiest ones we'll do.
Yeah, if I can get the spacer back in. Are you loosening any other screws other than the spacer one or no?
No.
Okay, okay, I got it.
Yeah, the spaces, it does need a little
oomph, right?
Yeah.
Got it back in. My file is bigger than yours. It's about how you use the file, okay?
There we go.
Right.
One in. It's hilarious. We're talking about how far we think we're gonna get in one stream.
I thought I had envisioned me and you with frame and gantry installed, and I'm like, dude, we're basically 2 hours and 5 minutes in, and I haven't even touched the frame. I mean, again, we didn't really know, what what all it entailed. It's a whole new, whole new adventure.
This is the whole point.
Yep. All right.
There we go. That one worked better.
Did it? All right. Let's see.
Maybe I just got the right amount of filing right off.
Come on, guy.
Gotta line up the angles on the spacer with the angles in the machine parts. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, if you get an edge in, you can sort of just spin it around and get it into place.
Yep. All the green parts. Now there were printed versions of these pieces that go on the end here, but there's machine pieces there instead, so I don't need those. A lot of other little spacers I printed that I ended up not needing because they had machine spacers. So we'll get rid of these.
Sick. All right. So I've got
this,
everything ready to rock except for those two accent stops. Yeah, I have all those too.
I'm just putting all this.
Oh no, those are the PLA ones.
No, I'm just putting all those. That's what we just replaced.
Yep.
How wide are those files? This file is right at 10 millimeters wide, 9 millimeters wide. It's, I have an actual
checking these.
ruler. Looks like about 3/8 of an inch wide.
I have a set of Swiss-made group files that just cut wonderfully. Nice. Yeah, I don't think the files I got, Modbot tools are like printers. You never will have enough. Well, the funny thing is, prior to building the V0, I didn't really have tools. Like, I had like a Harbor Freight drill that I carried with me throughout every place I'd moved. Like, I didn't really have anything. And then all of a sudden, from like, I don't know, just talking to people like, hey, you should get this, you should get this. And now I've acquired a ton of tools. But I agree. I mean, like, you'll never be upset that you have a tool, but you will be upset when you're looking around for a tool, and you don't have it. So, it is what it is.
So real quick, McDonald, thank you for gifted memberships, 50 gifted memberships.
Holy cow. Thank you, cheers.
Jeff is asking, why are you replacing those parts on the gantry? Because Mellow prints these in PLA, because that's their capabilities at their shop. So it's easier for them to print these in PLA in mass for the kits, and then you change your own color, swap them out for your own color.
I stand by what I said though, Steve, that Mellow should absolutely figure out how to print these in black ASA, because for 99% of the people, it will save them an hour to an hour and a half of time. So like they should absolutely. I mean, I get it that they don't have the capability, but these are small parts that you can Ender 3 in a cardboard box could do these.
All the new members. So any new members, you have access to the latest Charlie's Angels stream, which is the member stream that I do every month. Last month, we did a foam dart blaster build. Foam dart blaster.
Jason says, go VZBot. Steve and Daniel, enjoy the rest of the design. Or enjoy the great design.
This is the blaster we did. And thanks, Jason. Thanks for being here, too.
That's the one with the pretty blue that I liked, right? The protopasta?
Yeah. Protopasta, mermaid's tail, teal.
Yeah, so pretty. Such a, like, do a, make yourself full screen, man. You gotta show it off. It's real nice.
Let me see. Can I do this? Here we go.
Yeah, in the light, it's a really nice sheen to it.
Yeah. But this is a bolt action. This thing put a dent in the insulation of my garage door.
Nuts.
So we've been having fun with those, and that's what July's stream was. So any new members has access to go watch that. It was a lot of fun.
My PCBs shipped, Steve, for the FDL, the Project FDL.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
nice.
As soon as I get them, I'll send you the boards.
What do we got? Hey, Squirrel Brain. You should let Nero 3D know the red parts are PLA. He does. I saw him acknowledge he saw that.
He installed it with it on though, didn't he? Or no? Because I swore I saw his gantry on with red parts. Unless that's just the color scheme he went with.
No, I'm pretty sure if he hasn't, he's going to replace them, but I'm pretty sure he acknowledged that. Today has got to be some kind of record for number of memberships gifted. I'm fairly certain. I think that's by a long shot. What spring you got? I think, I don't remember. The 25? I'm not super familiar with them.
What do we have for likes? 276? We're 24 away from 300. If you haven't hit like, try to let's get over 300.
So someone says that the left rear corner was off center, and yes, this is still loose. This can all move. None of this is locked into place yet. So yeah, things can move.
Yeah.
What's the quality like on the Mellow kits? So far, so good. The machine parts are beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, the aluminum parts are absolutely gorgeous, and the carbon fiber looks awesome. It's a really like, what would I say? Like, it's a really baller printer. You know?
Yeah.
It really is, with all the aluminum, the carbon fiber, the all-wheel drive with the super motors, the cooling fans, the CPAP. Like it's a really tricked out printer.
Very. Jason saying hi again. So if anybody is in the LA area, Orange County Maker Fair is coming up in October, and Jason and I are going to be I'm going to take a bunch of printers down, and Voron's going to kind of share a table with Jason, so stop by.
When is it, Steve?
October 21st, I think. It's a Saturday.
Okay. So the week before, Saturday before Halloween, whatever.
October 21st, yeah.
In 5 minutes, I will have those parts completed. But if we want to move on to the frame, we totally can.
Like if you want to go fast, you need the parts to be able to do so. Yep. Are we ready to go into the frame?
Yeah, I think so. Again, I've got 5 minutes left on the three. I printed out 3 of those little replacement pieces. But if we get the frame going before I actually install the gantry part of the frame, I can just swap those, or I can probably swap them once they're on. They're not that hard to access. So, yeah, absolutely. I say we move on to starting on the frame.
Okay. I'm gonna say hi to DB3D, Maker Viking. What spring? I'm hitting 220 something FPS on that blaster FDA. I think I found 2 sets of files, one that is only flat files, and the other set has different shapes and are less wide. I'm not quite sure, Alfonzito. That's why I said I need to go looking for something that's equivalent to what I got or figure out where I got mine. Awesome, and almost up to 300 viewers. Perfect.
Nice.
Okay, over to the build docs.
Okay.
So the build docs show building the frame, like here.
Yeah.
This we can't do because our frame is partially assembled. So we have to kind of figure out a sequence.
Yeah. I think the only things that change are the bars in the middle. So like the bars in the middle on the left and the right are the gantry y-axis. I think the rest of it should be the same. I think the rest of it should be the same.
LinkedIn, Discord looks similar to yours. Okay, I'll check those out. If anybody wants to send me links, I'll check them out after stream. Red middles are built, rest is frame. Yeah. But what sequence will get us to be able to put these in place without scratching the hell out of everything?
That's a great question. That is a fantastic question. So, what extrusions do we have here?
Here's what PB Super is saying. Assemble the frame without the 2 top side bars and the back one. That way you can just slide in the gantry from the top and add the 2020s after that on top. Okay.
Assemble the frame without the 2 top side bars. Okay, so everything but the 2 top side.
Yeah, I think we can kind of build a... Yeah, okay, so let's do it this way. Let me just set this off to the side, gantry. I'm gonna get rid of my, here, let's go here. Get rid of this so I have a flat. Make sure this is clean. We only need 13 likes to hit 300. 45 minutes before giveaway time, that's awesome. And I've been working on this for a while, so I think I'm going to grab my blade out of here and just kind of scrape and make sure I don't have anything stuck to this.
Yeah, I just sort of did the same. Okay, so it looks like red's going to be the smallest extrusion.
I've got a few things. Okay, this has to go up. So we have extrusions, so let's go through and make sure we're good. This is threaded on both ends, but with no cross drill holes. So this is that.
It's just paper, or are you doing some
just a paper towel.
Okay.
Just a paper towel, just wiping stuff off, getting a better view. Another one, this is the same length as that one. I think all of these are not going to have any cross drills. We're just looking for length.
Yeah, there's basically 3 different extrusion types. The corners that are the longest, and then there's 4 and 4, with the only difference being 10 millimeters in length out of the 8.
What is the 10 millimeters in length? Oh, is that for which direction?
So yeah, we need these shorter. Oh, damn it, I dropped. Oh, there we go. We need the shorter ones right now for the sides. The 375, the 10 millimeter. Yeah, the 375 are
so
what we need right now.
They're shorter in the Y direction.
They're shorter. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
I got a little burr here. I don't know if we can see that.
Oh, interesting.
See that on the end?
Yeah.
I'm gonna lightly touch this, and then I'm gonna place it so it can't be seen.
Yeah. Okay, so I like, you definitely analyze additional details that I don't. I'm usually like, just bolt it, but it got me in trouble on the last extrusions because there was, where the holes were punched on the sides, I didn't see that there was still some metal shavings that hadn't been ejected, and that caused quite a pain when we were building the frame for that Trident. So definitely not a bad idea to do a once over just to make sure everything checks out.
Yeah, I'll just place that to where it can't be seen because there's a little bit of marking in the anodizing there.
Marie says, at least it's not fully drilled like Modbot had. Yeah, it was interesting. I had clamps, and every time I tightened the extrusion, it was still lifting a few millimeters, and I couldn't figure it out. And it's because I was trying to basically screw through aluminum. It did not work. Each of the best belts. We're at 298. We're at 298. Nice. We need 2 more.
Okay, and any new members, we definitely have this push, and once again, it's another just fun thing, but definitely a push to 10,000. We're so close. Just over 500 left.
Wait, so 10,000 members?
Yeah.
Oh, subscribers, okay.
Subscribers. Any new, because you can become a member and not be subscribed.
That makes 0 sense to me, but yeah, I get.
Yeah, I mean, so especially if you get a gifted membership.
Yeah, I guess though. Yeah. You're like, I was just browsing. I didn't actually want to.
We hit 310.
Nice.
Blew past it.
Sweet. I'm curious to see how you plan on attacking this, or what our plan of attack is. Just because since the gantry is assembled and it's going to be on its side, we're basically going to have to sort of put the gantry on its side, right? I mean, while we tighten it in.
Yeah, we'll have to slide it on, but I think we're gonna build this thing from the bottom up, basically.
Okay.
I missed something here. I got Thomas gifted memberships, thank you. And Nice gifted memberships, thank you. Nice.
Nice. Hi, Nice.
Everybody wants to be 300th like. Okay, so the rest of these, I just had that one that had a little bit of boogers on a side.
Yep.
And then we have our verticals.
Yeah, and those ones, the direction does matter because there's the other blind joint for where the gantry's going in.
Yep. So we have it's cross drilled on the ends. And then there's, similar to a Trident, there's one there. So these have to be in line this way. There's one. English tilted at an angle after the frame was assembled. Community is like flypaper. Try to just browse and we'll give you a member sticker and say hello. There we go. A little goober there on the side of that extrusion, so I'll put that at the back. Assemble the bottom and then put the 4 corner extrusions. Yep. Add the front top extrusion, and that way you can slide in the gantry, tighten that, and then add the top. Yeah, so that's basically the idea I was going with as well.
Holy cow.
Nathan, thank you for the gifted memberships. Holy moly.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, so we're gonna assemble this entire cube, you're saying then, right? But except for the top 2 side pieces?
We're going to assemble... We're gonna assemble the 4 bottom of the 4 corners along with the whole bottom, and then probably the front and back, and then slide the gantry in and then do the top sides.
Okay. We're gonna start with a side though, right?
We will start with the side, yeah, because you have to. They have to adjust, connect to the. They have to join the bottoms. So I have 2 of these with little cosmetic boogers on them. So I will put those to the back. So that one in the back. This one in the back like that. So now we can start with a front corner and making sure the blind joint hole for that is that way. So now the X extrusions, it's wider than it is deep.
Yeah. So you're doing a front. You're not doing a side right now.
This is a front.
Okay, I was doing a side. So let me swap out then. So these are, so that means you need the longer extrusions.
And here's.
And then you want the.
It doesn't really matter. What size bolts are we using on these?
M510s.
M510s?
Yeah.
Not M512s?
M510s, depending on either, yeah, so it's M56 or M5.
Yeah.
M5 or M6, so we're doing M5.
Okay. Okay. Got my little cute, these things are so, I showed this to my wife and she says that's adorable because you look at it compared to the Acro Mills trays.
They are adorable.
Look at this. You can fit like 4 of these inside of one of these.
Well, the thing is, when I was building that first V0, I was so frustrated because I kept losing hardware, and so I went to CAD and started playing around with it, and I made it exactly. I think there was 20 pieces of hardware I needed for. What are you looking at?
Oh, someone was asking for a close-up of the extrusion. Go ahead.
I think there was 20 pieces of hardware for the V0, so that's why I designed it with 20. And then I specifically made it where like the tops were completely closed, because on the ones you buy from the store, if you tilt it upside down, they're all falling out the top. And so I made it completely closed. That was my goal. And then the little hole in the top of it, if you look at the top, there's like, you probably saw it when you're looking at the CAD, Steve, there's like a tiny, there's a hole in the very top.
For a magnet.
It was intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you know? You just assumed?
Because it said in your instruction, your description. I read your description.
I thought you were just like, wow, Steve's really good.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I read it out. But it didn't quite work out as well. Having a matte top of the entire thing works out better than having just one tiny magnet inside there.
Built by Devin. The next stream will be on Daniel's channel on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific.
Hey, Steve, these bolts don't fit in.
What do you mean?
Like, they don't slot into the extrusions, like the channels. They're too big, the heads.
Are you using the socket head or the button heads?
No. Button heads.
You're using button heads? They don't slide in? Like this?
Oh, I am a goofball. Yeah, no, they do. I'm going from the outside in. Yeah, these are blind joints. My bad.
Oh yeah, blind joints.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Yeah, I was trying to go from outside through. I'm like, this isn't working. So it's the same setup as like what Voron uses for these.
What is the stream schedule for this stream? So Sundays and Wednesdays. Sunday on my channel at 10 a.m. Pacific. Wednesdays on Daniel's channel at 12 noon Pacific.
Yep.
So, okay. So I'm going to go through and put the blind joint nuts on most of these while we're sitting here.
Okay.
I questioned the length and size because, I mean, generally, I think we used M5x16s for,
oh, really?
For
That's
in Voron land.
Yeah.
For these. This will be fine. So 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays, correct. And I will be joining. So the same setup, but flip it. We're basically treating this on on Wednesday. Daniel will be hosting and he will be driving the majority of what's going on. Now we have it set up, of course, that I can give Daniel focus and vice versa when he's hosting. So
We're basically like, we're carpooling, man. And on Sundays we carpool. Steve's the driver. And I'm carpooling, you know. And then on Wednesdays, I'm the driver for our carpool band we got going on.
and really, I don't know that anyone has done something like this to this degree for printer build series. So it's really exciting. And we're really anxious or curious to hear what people think and how it's working out. So don't hesitate to give us the feedback, good and bad.
Yeah, this is, again, this is a collective effort of multiple months of excitement and just figuring out, you know, how this is gonna work and all that. But it's been, I mean, Steve and I, we've chatted for quite a long time, so it was fun to finally be able to do something that we both really were looking forward to doing, and you know, this sort of collaborative, collaborative way of doing it. All right, let's see if I can do my. I'm just going straight to clamping this front panel, Steve.
Yeah, that's fine. So something to make sure we're aware of is the location of this blind joint hole in the verticals. It needs to go fore and aft on the printer, front and back. So
yes. Yep.
So then it's just a matter of finding the right driver here in my messed up. I usually, when I was streaming from the other garage, I have a nice little drawer that has everything organized. I don't have that over here.
Is this, I can't remember if, I think you told me before, is this garage your new permanent setup or not necessarily?
No, okay. I'm not actually thrilled with this setup because of the having to go back and forth. I don't like having the things that I use for a build in two different locations.
Yeah, I mean, most streams I catch myself running to the garage for the one or two things I forget. It happens, I don't even know, where's my other... where's the clock at? There it is.
Okay, I'm gonna start breaking out the bits and pieces, my straight edges and clamps to make sure that things go together nice and square. May I ask how this works for your streaming at noon Wednesdays with work? I'm taking Wednesdays off for the next month and a half or 2 months. That's...
It's funny because I never even thought about it, and someone asked me like, how is Steve doing that? I'm like, that's a great question. He just said that he'd be there.
Yep. Closest stream I remembered was Chris Riley and David Randolph building a switch wires. Yep, and I watched most of those. Who's going to Earth? I'm going to Earth. Okay, so those are square.
Wish I was.
And we can get to this side, paying attention to that blind joint hole up here.
Yep.
Hey, little lantern.
3 months, I called it.
Acro Mills cabinets, I use a lot of those with the inserts, yeah. I am planning on going to Smurf, Collie. Are
you really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. That's cool.
Yeah. I'm going a little nutso with the events, considering I think I've been to every major one.
It's called, you drank the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. I grabbed the wrong extrusion for here. So I grabbed a long extrusion when I should have grabbed a short. So.
Wait, no. Oh, you want the long ones if you're doing the front.
No, for this one. This is the front. This is the
front.
Oh,
you're doing it. Oh, gotcha. You're doing it different than me. Okay, so you're kind of putting all of yours on before you're squaring them up.
I'm squaring them as I'm going.
Oh, okay. You're just good like that. All right.
I'm just.
I'm over here struggling with my 4 clamps, 2 blocks, and C's just going along. All right. Okay.
Well, I mean, and I semi screwed up by not having the the correct extrusion there.
All right.
Yeah, it's in Oxford. Yeah, and Max has gone to Smurf.
It's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This year was nuts with like, you know, the Rocky Mountain.
New events, yeah.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff going on this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you went to open sauce, dude. You're just like a roadie, man. Like just going around everywhere. It's awesome,
Exactly.
though. It's cool that you're able to do that, you know?
I'm going to attend one day of the Mare Island Maker Faire, which is the Bay Area Maker Faire resurrected.
Oh, it's sick. Okay, when is that? What month?
That's October as well. Unfortunately, they were kind of dumb, kind of annoying, and conflict with Orange County Maker Faire. So won't have printers at Mare Island Maker Faire. Decided to do Orange County instead.
Gotcha. It's funny because I lived in Southern California for 29 years and lived in Orange County for 5 or 6 of those years. And I think it was 2 months after I moved out of California, they had the first Orange County Maker Faire, and I'm like, go figure.
Yeah.
It would happen.
Just so it's easy identification, I'm gonna put this tiny little piece of tape on the front.
Okay.
Make sure that's not on a surface.
What did we learn, Steve, from my my
that we don't put tape on
tape?
surfaces that we need to square up.
Exactly. I had never labeled stuff, and so after I think it was the previous stream, quite a few people were recommending that I labeled things, which is a really good idea. But I wrapped the masking or painter's tape around the entirety of the extrusion, which is a terrible idea because when you're trying to build it up against the surface, you'd have to account for that thickness of the tape.
Yep.
So Steve came in right when I was doing it and basically smacked my hand and said bad, and I removed it. So I will not be doing that again.
Yeah, and Max is talking about in chat, we're planning on having a V24 at Smurf.
Holy crap. That's a big,
yeah.
That's a big,
that's definitely a holy crap.
Yeah. I imagine assembling it will be happening out there, not out here, unless it's a big freight shipment or something like that. I don't like that.
Do we have an official name for the V24? V24. Anything beyond that is not released yet.
You are way faster on your frames than me, Steve.
I don't know how this is gonna. The problem is, so the thing is, talking about that, is where am I gonna figure, oh crap, I forgot to do that, or oh crap, I shifted that wrong, or.
Gotcha. I've got faith, man. I think you're gonna look back and be like, got it.
Although I'm at this point right now, there may be many oh craps before it's done.
Let's see. Guys, this extrusion is twisting on me.
Twisted? Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's twisting when I'm trying to tighten it down.
It's where those washers can come in handy. That's what I've taken to doing on most of my builds, is use a washer underneath the heads of the thing. So this is the bottom 4 extrusions and then the 4 corner extrusions together.
Okay.
And then the idea is, from what I understand, we're going to put the front and back top pieces in, and then drop the gantry in and line everything, and then put the top side extrusions in. Yep. So I'm gonna turn this up.
So all you have left to do now is your front and back top, right? And then you can drop the gantry in.
So PB Super is suggesting we wait on the rear top. So we'll do just the front top based on his suggestion.
Okay.
So that's what I'm gonna do.
All right, I got side done, or the front. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so if I'm building it out like you, and this is, let's see, this is front, then we need,
Gantry also has an extrusion in the back, so it might make it a bit harder if you put the top one on the frame already. That makes sense. Thank you for the reminder.
okay, so shorter ones are Y, right, is what we said?
So what do you have there? Where are we at on your?
This is the front.
Here.
So I've got
I'm
front,
gonna
top,
go to
front,
you.
bottom, and sides.
Okay, so where are you at?
This is the entire front. So top, side, bottom. So now I need to build out the shorter. If I'm not mistaken, right? These are the shorter ones. For,
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I need to do the shorter ones and then back corners. You didn't use clamps at all, or did you use clamps?
I did.
Wow. I gotta. God.
I didn't mean to go so far ahead.
Over here, like sweat. You couldn't hear it, but I swore like twice under my breath. Modbot forgot. No, I should be okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, so let me start by just turning this like this, and then loosely tying these in place. Actually, I think I need bigger.
Where are we at? We got 20 minutes till Polymaker Filament giveaway. 300 people here, probably what, 350 likes? You see, I joke about, well, not really joke about this, but my YouTube studio view, I only see a 3 and 3 dots. So it doesn't tell me the exact number unless I expand the screen or whatever. So,
for likes or for views?
For likes.
Yeah.
For current viewers, we're at 312. I see that whole number.
Nice. Okay, so I've got this guy clamped
Charlie
down.
treat time. That's a great idea. You want to keep these folks entertained for a couple of minutes while I go get Charlie treats?
I can do that.
Yeah, you got control of the screen right now, so.
Okay, I'll go side. Yeah, let me go side cam so we can all watch. All right. All right. Well, I will say that although Super Steve is done with his frame, we are making better progress than we did with our recent Trident build. That was rough. I might see a forehead angle on. Okay, should be good. Nope, that is not good. Daniel, you have space. Shill hard for your channel. Well, if you want to see part 2, definitely stop by on Wednesday. It's going to be a ton of fun. Steve's back. All right.
No, you're good. You're good.
Sandy said shill hard for my channel.
There is a link in the description. Everybody needs to go and subscribe. So Daniel runs 2 channels. He runs his main channel, which has reviews and like tutorials and stuff like that. And that's Modbot. And then there's Modbot Army, which is a streaming channel. So I'm pretty sure the link in the description is to Modbot Army. But from there, there's also a link to Modbot.
Yeah, that's the one that we will be, that's the one we'll be streaming on.
Yep.
I would love to see, Steve, like, can you show on one of your extrusions just how you squared it up so quickly? Because I'm clearly doing something different.
Let's see.
I need to see the master at work here with the extrusions. You gotta show me.
Well, I'm doing a lot of here. So I'm doing a lot of. I'll just kind of hold this to the table, clamp, and a straight edge basically here, and then as I'm holding here and pulling here. And where did I put my driver?
Oh, so you don't clamp it down to the table?
No. Although, if I'm having a lot of trouble with an extrusion twisting, then I will. Because sometimes things just bind up differently. So I'll hold this, and then this is also kind of, this being clamped and this being a big square, basically. Yep. It kind of helps keep it from twisting anyway.
Do you ever use 1, 2, 3 blocks in place of those or no?
I mean, I have them. I have some right here.
Okay.
They're just a lot heavier, and these seem to work okay.
Well, you definitely have a nicer, like look at, these are my squares, and they've got a really thin. Your squares are thick on both sides, right?
Oh yeah. These are different.
Yeah, yours are better for clamping.
Yeah.
Someone asked Daniel, do you do YouTube full time? I do not. I work full time at Lightburn, so it's remote. But yeah, Monday through Friday. If you ever look at laser videos over on Lightburn's channel, you might recognize the voice. So yeah, I make the majority of their videos. So I do streaming and the video making part time. I've pretty much always been part time.
How's Charlie's? Charlie's doing about the same as last time. Like I said, the very slow, very gradual slope downward, it seems, but he is eating. He still enjoys cuddling. He really likes his treats. So.
Yeah, the issue I always seem to have is with the extrusion lifting on me when I go to tighten it, and I can't figure out what.
Like Kyle said in the chat, something I've been doing for a long time is putting a washer under the head of the screw. Because what that does is gives you a consistent surface to rotate around. It reduces that friction. It doesn't catch on the aluminum extrusion.
Is that what you did right now? You put put washers on them all?
No.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I've done on many builds.
Gotcha. Yeah, this extrusion is lifting on me, even not clamped down.
Is it square on the end? Is it lifting? Is it twisting or is it lifting?
I think it's lifting.
Aluminum is grippy. Yep. Do you have like an M5 washer you can give it a try?
I don't know that I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where it would be right now. Well, it's shortly here. If you did want to start sliding the gantry, I wouldn't be upset, and I can get caught up.
Pay attention to reduction of tumor size. Should see some results around 30 days.
Switch around.
We'll see, Jack Black. We're giving him that anti-inflammation, whatever stuff that you recommended. And unfortunately, he's pretty far along, so we'll see. I'm hopeful, and we'll continue to treat him, but we'll see.
That's cool that Bill said he used to teach Lightburn, and I always told all my students that they should leverage the Lightburn tutorials. Nice job. Thank you.
Nice.
I've only been doing them for the last, it's probably been a year and a half or so that I've been doing the video stuff. Before I was doing some more of like tech support stuff there, but thank you. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a ton of fun.
Joel has a good suggestion. If you might want to pull that extrusion off and make sure there aren't any burrs on the end of it that are causing you to.
I flipped it around just to see if the other side was going to be the same way. So let me see. I don't see anything, like nothing like what you were showing earlier as far as the boogers go. So if I go like this and I clamp it like you do, let's see if I can get it to.
And yeah,
the previous time I had issues with this was when I had a little piece of something in between the extrusions, and that's what it was catching on. So in this case, it shouldn't be that issue.
Someone was saying, where did I catch it?
Okay. It didn't lift.
Awesome.
It didn't lift that time, so I don't know. We'll see. I think I might need, when I'm clamping it to the 1, 2, 3 block, I think I just need to watch it and make sure I'm applying downward pressure so that the 1, 2, 3 block itself isn't lifting and pulling the extrusion with it.
Yeah.
That's probably what the issue was, so.
And Troy, there are some fundamental differences between the 235 and the 330 designs.
Do you know what they are on the VZ?
Isn't there a front? There's a front cross. Well, we can check. McDonald, thank you. The drill guides for the Trident, are they the same for all build sizes? Yes. Yes, they would be. If we go to let's go to the Mellow Kit 330. I think we should be able to see on the frame. Let's see if there's a good, there's not the same frame. Oh yeah, there's some 2040s. There's quite a bit of differences between the frames. It's not just scaled up.
Oh wow, it's beefier, the actual frame itself. Okay, this one went on too smoothly.
Clamping as low as possible so the pressure is evenly on the extrusion. Yeah.
This beam is going to be...
There's no mid gantry on a 330. The gantry is on the top before the hat. There's a hat on the 330.
Oh, interesting. So it's substantially
makes for a big printer.
Yeah. I'm glad we went with the smaller 235.
Oh yes. Oh,
it's going to be just the perfect setup. Considering I just finished building the 300mm 2.4 and I'm working on the 300mm Trident, like I just don't need. I've got plenty of big. Like I need just small and beastly.
So someone said, "Oh no, did I miss treat time?" No. So I think we can do treats because we're only a few minutes before Polymaker giveaway time. So let me set up the cameras because it's always the funnest to watch Charlie just instantly.
Chow down.
Instantly. Well, no, it's more than that. He gets excited. So he's sleeping right now. See, you see his corner view, the corner camera view. Let's see here. Let me get some views. Let's see where this is. Okay, so right there. So if we pay attention to Charlie corner camera view, right? And then the floor in front of him, as soon as I make a rattle on this bag, he's gonna jump right up and start wanting treats. So are we ready?
His head shut up so fast. That's amazing. Dude.
You want a treat? Yeah.
The man knows what he likes.
I don't know what we can see here. Here we are. Oh, he's not very bright lately though. We were giving him treats the other day and one landed next to his paw and he was looking around trying to figure out where it went. There you go. And a couple more. Make them run for him a little bit, usually. There we go. And then I have to wash my hands afterwards, otherwise if he smells it, he'll bite me. Charlie bit me.
That's crazy. You got water in your garage?
Right in the laundry room's right next to the garage.
Yep.
There's a sink in there. Oh. We have not found the toy. I seriously haven't found it yet. So the Rancho, one of the guys in the community, printed and gave to me at Open Sauce here, let's go here. A cool little printed cat toy. It rolls around and it has a hole in it, so you put treats in there, and as it rolls, a treat can fall out. And Charlie loved it. He was playing with it like crazy, but he lost it. I don't know where it went.
Okay, I'm trying to verify which of these I tightened. I like forgot which ones I tightened. So I'm getting close, Steve. I'm getting. By the time you do your giveaway, we'll be ready to rock and roll.
It's perfect. Good timing.
All right. Okay, let me try these one more time.
Just got a new puppy, Zelda. Awesome. What kind of puppy?
Was that nice? That said that?
Yes, nice.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, I thought nice. I was like, either two people who just got puppies named Zelda.
It's on printables. Nice. As I saw, it was in his garage. Yeah, I don't know where it went. Should model an AirTag pocket into one of those. 343 likes. Awesome. That is good. Incredible. Oh, they say, I hear Mellow is working on a VZ150 kit, all-wheel drive kit by next year, maybe? That's cool.
That is cool.
If that was available now, that would have been my choice. Just smaller, the better. Can we make it to 400 in the next 5 minutes? I was rewatching some streams and I saw the treat ball go under the toolbox behind you, the one closer to the DeWalt bag. Okay, while we're waiting these last few minutes, let me take a peek. Because actually, I had it in my mind that it got lost in the house, but it might have gotten lost out here. It's not there. Not under that one. And I don't see it under the other one, so I think it's in the house somewhere. No luck, but it was a good try. Our Mark IV will be here tomorrow. Awesome. Are they each building the printer simultaneously? It's not a race, but we're building them at the same time, yes.
If it was a race, I would know where I'd put my money. Yeah, I mean, even during normal non-collab streams, like it's always like a very long process.
No problem. And Barnyard, I agree, 180 would be better to take standard build sheets. I think it's always a good idea to design around what's out there. So 235 is a great size because that's all Ender 3 stuff. All the others, 250, 300, 330 even, 350, those are all common sizes. Building around the Prusa 250 by 210 or whatever is a good option. They're available, but they're not nearly, I mean, if you can match a Prusa size or an Ender size, then your options for build sheets are nearly limitless.
Like the Micron. Oop. Micron, right? The bigger Micron is Prusa mini size, I think.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Steve would lose the race because he would disassemble and redesign the parts first. I did that with my Hevo. My Hypercube Evolution, I never actually finished that because I spent all my time redesigning parts, but it was a great way to learn Fusion and learn printed parts design. Okay. Daniel has more squirrels, so it wouldn't be a fair contest.
Yeah, there's tons of squirrels here. It's I don't know why we have so many squirrels. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think this is probably as close as I'm
getting
Just in
time
it.
for the
It's
giveaway.
gonna be, what's that? Just time for the giveaway?
Just in time for the giveaway.
If that's the case, I'm gonna loosen one of these and redo it. That's tight.
Do you have a favorite filament brand?
Polymaker filament is awesome. For like, I would say Polymaker covers probably 99% of like the printing that I need. There's like for specialty stuff, like 3DX Tech makes some awesome specialty stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, I mean, gosh, they've expanded their line so heavily. When I was first using Polylite years ago, it was only a handful like of the primary colors. So they have really ramped up their selection. It's quite incredible, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I haven't. Polymaker is the most consistent filament brand that I've used over the years. The other ones would be like kind of all over the place. Yeah, I mean that's probably it. What about you?
Yes, but I tend to pick filament based on what color I want.
Yeah.
Polymaker has been consistently good. It's disappointing that KVP ended up going south on their quality because they had great color selection.
I never used KVP. I know a lot of people swear by them, and I've seen some of their colors were beautiful. KVP made some gorgeous colors.
Yeah. This Protopasta Pet G I've been doing has been gorgeous, but it definitely needs dried. That's the knock there, but it's Pet G.
Yeah.
The Fusion filaments make some great colors that you can't find anywhere else.
Well, Fusion was probably my favorite. That rigid green that they made, that was like Klee had them make it based off of the company in the UK, I think called Rigid, that went out of business some years ago. I still have it. Like this is probably like my hands down favorite filament ever right here. This is my holy grail. But you can't get it anymore. They don't make it, and it's beautiful. It's what was on my Switchwire build. Yeah, Rigid ink went bust. Yep. It's gorgeous stuff.
Sparta 3D has some good stuff. Yep. Especially some good unique colors.
I haven't used Sparta either. Canada, right?
Of many, what I was kind of getting at is a lot of the filament manufacturers make great printing and consistent colors, and it's disappointing when someone like KVP or whatever ends up kind of dropping off.
What happened with KVP, Steve? Like I didn't.
It sounds like they had some turnover. I don't know anything direct.
Sure.
It just sounds like they had some turnover and some management changes, and not as much emphasis on making a consistent thing.
That's a bummer. Because I mean, their filament wasn't cheap, but it was U.S. made or is U.S. made. So usually there's a slight premium with that. But if the quality is excellent, people are willing to pay for it.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Atomic. One of my coworkers like almost exclusively prints an Atomic PTG or Atomic Carbon Fiber PTG. I've heard fantastic things. Like they have a cherry, I think, as well, like a cherry red.
I've not tried any of those, but I've tried their carbon fiber ABS and Pet G, and I love it. I've printed a lot of it.
Yeah.
KVP relocated and lost a lot of experience.
There's a lot of filaments that I like. I think the biggest thing that's important to me is consistency and availability, honestly. Like, there's been plenty of filaments I've liked. I mean, I've been printing for 9-ish years now, and like, over the years, I've found lots of filaments I like. The issue is that when I try to get it 2 years later, it's no longer available. Like, it just doesn't, company went under, they just don't manufacture anymore. So, that's, I think, my biggest issue is a company that can maintain consistent quality and also isn't going to be retiring SKUs so quickly.
With that, while you're finishing that up, let's do a giveaway.
Okay. I feel happy with where my frame's at, Steve.
Awesome. Polymaker filament giveaway. What I do when I'm closing out is I wait until I haven't had a new entry in 3 seconds. So you have a few seconds now, because these are the longest 3 seconds you've ever heard.
One Mississippi spelled out, right?
Yeah, pretty much. So link is in the description, link is in the pin post. Get it in there right now if you want to get in there. Otherwise, I'm going to close it out in a very generous 3 seconds.
Thank you, RU. I didn't realize that, or it wasn't RU. Someone said, PB, thank you for letting me know that I had the image on the table and not myself.
There we go. So no responses in 3. Oh, we just got one. So 3. Nope, we just got 3. So 3. Oh, there's another one. 3, 2, 2.5. Buddha, thanks for being a member for 13 months. Oh, wait, nope, we got 2 more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's a good round number.
I just hard cut off, man. I'm like,
Oh,
you
I
had
know.
10 warnings. I gave you 3 minutes. Like every time I close it, there's always someone that said like, oh, where's the thing? I'm like, it's been open for 3 hours or 2 hours, you know?
But you know, I gotta have my thing to make it different.
No, I know, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's cool. It's funny. At least in this case, nobody can say, hey, I didn't have a chance. Like I gave you 3 Steve seconds, okay? You know?
Okay, so why is this not letting me click on things?
Let me pull out these.
There we go. Is my battery going dead? Wow. Who do we got? Oh shoot, it overscrolled. Dr. V got the last entry.
Rigid green ABS is in stock. Ooh, I might have to get a roll.
Control C. Okay, we ready here? What's the, so I always do a range, shuffle range. What should I pick?
A shuffle range?
Yeah, we shuffle the numbers between some viewer given thing. So between, I don't know.
How big of a range? Like what's max?
Let me wait. The page isn't, oh, there we go. Awesome. So between 5 and 10, or between 42 and 69, or.
Why'd you pick those numbers, Steve?
They're internet funny numbers.
What's significant?
How many months old is Jackson?
He's 5 months.
Okay, 0 to 5.
5 months.
1 to 5.
Okay.
1 to 5. We get the Jackson roll. 1 to 5. I mean, anytime you ask this, the 2 most common numbers that people put in chat, no matter what the range is, 42 and 69.
Yep.
And that's
That's the default values for if you donate not through Super Chat, but if you donate through Stream Elements, those are the default filled in chat, like $4.20 and $6.90.
That's funny.
Yep.
Okay, I see lots of 3s, so let's go 3. 1,
Too. Yep.
2, 3.
Good luck,
And
everybody.
spin. I saw the unpinned reminder. Just letting you know, chat's going fast, but I still track it.
Yeah, your chat is, or your spinner is way too small to see what's happening until the winner is announced.
Oh yeah. Okay, what do we got? Grant's Auto Essentials. I know that
nice.
name. Are you
That's
here?
a familiar name, yeah.
It's a familiar name. Are you here? I give folks 2 minutes to, because you have to be here. So timer on the watch. 2 minutes, Grant.
I'm gonna swap out, Steve, those the X stops since the black ASA ones are done printing.
Awesome.
Yep, I'll get those going real quick before.
Are you here, Grant? Don't join the Polar Ted Club.
Oh no, Polar Ted won and wasn't here?
Uh-huh. But Polar Ted won a Trident kit and wasn't here.
No! Oh no.
Polar Ted won a Trident kit and wasn't here. And Grant is here. Awesome. Congratulations, Grant. You'll get an email from me. Awesome. Now, so if you weren't familiar with the story, many of the folks here are, but we did the drawing and he came back. Polar Ted came back later and said, I was getting a sandwich. And Jason, being the amazing person he is, gave him a V0 kit as a consolation prize.
That's super cool of him.
Yeah.
I've got one for you. So DJ Natty, when we were doing, I think it was the 1,000 subscriber giveaway for the stream channel, he won something. I can't remember what it was, but he won a prize. And he came back a little while later and said he had been taking a bath. He said he left to take a bath, and I was like, that's amazing. And so that was our joke for a while. Like, don't take any baths during my stream, man.
Funny.
Yeah.
Mad Shammy, 24-year anniversary. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
In what, next month? Mine will be 21 years. 21 years next month. So awesome. Congratulations, Grant. Good job. You will get an email from me sometime in the next couple of days. Yeah, Polar Ted got his V0.1 and built it before the Trident winner got theirs. But it was early. It was an early thing, so it was known that it would be a few weeks or whatever before the kit went out, because this was building when LDO was first making a kit.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Polar Ted's been doing. I wonder if it's the same V0 that he's modding right now. He installed like Boop and a bunch of crazy stuff on one of his V0s.
So
I am very close. I just need to install these lock nuts, and then I'm good to drop the gantry in.
Gray. Here, I'm gonna give you focus there.
Oh, me? I got my needle nose pliers. I don't have a.
Polar Ted did used to go by a different name. That's true. I don't remember what it is. It's Polar Ted now.
Titan. Yeah.
It's a Polar Ted club.
Okay. I think that's good. I'm scared. I don't want to over clamp. I mean, I know we've got these spacers and the blocks, but I still don't want to clamp too hard down on these, you know, on the carbon tube.
Yeah.
It's probably enough on that side. Let me spin this over.
We've got several people in chat who are celebrating over 40 years married.
Wow. That's incredible. We just had our 1 year.
Brian's asking who makes a good V0 kit, and I think we've both, between us, we have some experience with a few ones, and I think the general statement is that a lot of the places are stepping up their games and doing a better job than when kits were early on. Most of my experience is in the LDO kit, and I've had good luck with those. You have some experience in the Cybor and other kits as well.
Yeah, so I've done Cybor, Self-Source, and LDO, and like, they're all good kits. I mean, I would say that the LDO kit was absolutely a more like, I didn't have to upgrade anything, while the Cybor, the hot end wasn't good. It just really wasn't. And the fans were also low quality. So it depends. I mean, ultimately, budget, what your goal is. Like, if you're planning on already replacing parts and doing mods, like I'm doing now a Dragon Burner on it, then it's kind of like maybe go with the one that doesn't cost as much. And, you know, if you're going to swap things. So, but it really just depends. And like Steve said, all of the manufacturers that I've seen, even the ones I haven't tested out myself, what their kits were like 12 months ago to what they are today is substantially different. And they all sort of sprinkle in their own little bit of like bonus add-ons and stuff like that. So I really think in most instances, you can't go too wrong. It just depends on what's more important to you. Like, do you want it to come with the Kirigami bed and the filter stuff for the Nevermore? Do you not care? Like, all of those little things really make a difference. Also, LDO is one of the few manufacturers, I think, that is stocked by lots of vendors all over the place. And so it's easier typically to get them and have support versus ordering through AliExpress or something like that. So again, it just not a right or wrong, just surely comes down to personal preference and what's important to you.
Max says, this is my second marriage. Pro tip, don't combine marriage years in conversation. Okay, we need to put the gantry in this frame.
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I've been waiting on you. I've been waiting on you, Steve.
I've got questions.
Yeah.
Let's go here, I think. Actually, let's go to the documentation. Let me get back to the, my mouse is not happy. Okay, if we are on the gantry here, I don't know if this is the instructions we want. Is it here? No, frame. Let me just make sure we didn't have anything in here.
Oh, crap. Steve, I didn't slide in those printed drop nuts, dude. Like the drop things that we printed out.
That's what I was just looking at here. We might have to look and tweak. Don't fully tighten the gantry in there. Put the top frame 20/20 square, then use the printed alignment tool to set the gantry in perfect. Yep, I get that. We had some confusion here that you might be able to help with, PB. We have a bunch of these nut inserts.
They didn't come with our Easy VZ kits, and so we printed them out, 5 of them. Are they necessary, or can we just use drop-in T-nuts or something like that later on? That's sort of my main question, I guess. Right, Steve? Like, that's kind of the main question. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like it's basically what, like an M3 or maybe an M4 nut that goes inside of here. So I'm wondering if or maybe M5. So yeah, I'm wondering if we can just T-nut this later on.
And we've got this, like this on screen here. This is one of those, and it's in the, is this in the front? Where is that? I'm trying to figure out what, this must be one of the front idlers. And that's a bolt that goes in from the side, and is that the M4 by 40s that go through there and thread into here, or is it an M3? I think it's M4. Nerdy says, if KBP has gone down in quality recently, then where would you recommend for cooler exotic colors? I think we listed a lot of them in terms of Fusion, Atomic, Polymaker, those all, Sparta 3D. Yeah. TV is saying, if you want to use the magnet doors, you need to put in those printed ones. I personally prefer the latch type ones, and those don't need the printed pieces in the front. So let's use the latch type ones.
Okay, so we don't need to undo
If PB
things.
prefers the latch ones, and let's use those, since we don't know either one.
Yep, we have no preferences. It's our first time.
Unpin. Thanks, Phil. I know other people reminded me too. Unpin the giveaway. And then, so is this? Let me set this off to the side for a moment and get an overhead view here of the gantry. So we have this, and
I didn't know that. Steve, Max designed, maybe I'm missing out, but he designed the small V0 chocolate printer?
yes.
Oh, I thought, for some reason, I thought that, I didn't realize that. I thought, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's I knew it was in collaboration with, but I didn't realize it was like to that extent. But I mean, it is essentially a V0, like heavily modified with a chocolate extruder on top of it. So I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So the next question, PB, is we have this. This appears to be a way to secure the front idlers or steppers to the extrusions. And it sounds like we use this printed insert along with an M4 hex nut, right? So printed M4 hex nut into there.
I don't understand what that's for, Steve. Like I don't understand.
I think it's to be able to secure this from both directions into the extrusion here. So I think this is going to go through here. That M4 by 40 goes in here, and then this threads in right here. And then we slide this past the extrusion. You get that? Does that make sense?
No, I need a close-up.
I'm going to get a close-up. I'm going to get a close-up.
Right.
Oops.
See through an M4 nut? Yeah.
So we have, the other one is a T-nut. The M4 bolt from the side of the motor goes into. Indeed, you can use a printed piece or just attach a T-nut when you slide in the gantry. So if we look at this,
That's
so
front,
this
front
piece,
right?
yeah, this is front right.
Okay.
So I put the M4 by 40 through here. And then once you get to the other side of that, this goes on here.
Ah, okay.
Now, he's saying that we can put an M4 T-nut
Later on?
there instead. Well, it wouldn't be later on. We'd have to slide it in now. I don't recommend using, I don't know that I'd want to use a hammerhead nut here.
Yeah.
Although we could.
I mean, you can see though, like if you use a hammerhead at this point, I think that if you looked at it from an angle, you can see whether it's spun correctly or not, you know?
You'd have to look at it from the top. We could do hammerhead nut there.
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay. Let's do hammerhead.
So this is going,
well, for one thing, and go ahead.
Let me show you, so like if I go side here, so this T-nut, or this thing is going on the inside of the right extrusion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so inside here, so basically Yeah, where this part's going to be up against. So we would just instead put a T-nut on. Well, the T-nut probably needs to be fed in here. No, I guess if you go on an angle, we can probably just put it in after. Okay, I'm understanding it now. It just gives you an additional locking point, but is it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Well, and it locates, it pretty much locates this printed part here. It forces it into position as well.
Okay.
Now.
And then for the other side, we don't need to do that. It's just a one-side thing.
No, we do it on both sides. It's the same thing on both sides.
Okay, cool.
Now I'm thinking it's going to be difficult to do, but I do think the spring T-nut is going to be better here.
Do the kit come with spring T-nuts?
Yeah, they're in the. I put them in the. There we are. These guys.
Ah, yep, I got them.
Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Now we don't actually, I think we can, it's easy to line this up. So I don't think we have to try to put this on right now. So here, I'll show you what I mean. Okay. We should be able to take the frame.
Put it in the 2020 slot and just move it to the correct spot with an Allen key when the gantry is in.
Yep, that's exactly what I was just gonna, what I was just explaining as well. If we go, if you look at, this is the hole in the front extrusion, right? Where everything's going. If you put this in the inside and just line it up to where it's lined up with that hole. And then just,
because it's going to be at the exact same height, isn't it?
Yep. Then we don't have to worry about.
Okay, I got one of them in easily, and the other one's being a jerk.
Yeah.
Try a different one, see if I got better luck.
I keep dropping this.
Yeah, it's. I think if I do, see if I press this.
I went through this how many times? You remember when I was saying I'm building a frame in the oh craps?
Uh-huh.
I'm dealing with an oh crap right now real quick.
Oh no, just wrong part?
I put the extrusion on wrong.
Oh, well, I mean, in defense, you could have, if you had checked it, you could have probably built like 3 frames correctly by the time I was still figuring out how to clamp mine down, so. Let's see.
Might as well throw this thing in the side while I'm here. Let's throw it in the end. No, that was, I went through that. I talked about it over and over, and I still did it. That's okay.
There we go. All right.
I always just put in a 40mm bolt on the roll-in nut, and then makes it way easier to assemble.
I just did the same thing right now. It just used a 40mm and then turned it with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are they saying put a 40mm in, that way you know which direction it's facing? You can see it sticking out?
Oh.
The gantry might have fallen.
The gantry might have fallen?
It definitely tilted over. It'll be okay. Okay, that looks good. This does not look good. Poor gantry. It'll be safe once it's on the printer. Until then, it's not safe.
It's lost.
Yeah.
Let me do this more properly. I was trying to do it in freehand, but
My bottom of my frame's got a little bit of wiggle now, but I think it's because I'm moving this frame around still, and once I've got the weight on it and everything, it'll kind of square itself up.
Things aren't locked into place yet.
Yep.
Okay, let me make sure I got all of those correct. They are. And let's zoom out here. So this is the front. So we have on our gantry, if we take our gantry, we're gonna need bolts here, right? Not our screws into the ends of these Y extrusions.
Yeah, the same.
M5x10s.
Wait,
The stream is not a bad idea. Maybe it's fun to do it with more.
Are we doing blinds? Is this blinds as well, Steve?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So this all has to slide in.
Yeah. Perfectly from the top.
From the top. So I've got the printer. The front is down on my surface here. Front is down, and I'm putting the screws into the end of these extrusions.
Yep.
Preparing for sliding into there.
Picking up what you're putting down. Nope, that's not the right.
Seems like the next stream I'm going to watch you guys build while I work on the same steps. Awesome. The Two Stooges. Exactly.
I'll take it, man.
So you're going to want to thread these in probably to where they're really close to where they need to be. So about a 2.5 millimeter gap.
Yeah, we have very little slack because of the fact that it's already cubed. Yeah, I'll do that. Good call.
Otherwise, the head of if it's too far out, it'll rub on the inside of the extrusion.
And our goal is to not scratch anything we don't need to scratch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Chuggy.
Whew.
Okay, so now should be able to take this whole thing and let that sit there.
I feel like it's gonna be easier to, once we get it slid in, to turn it on its side, Steve.
Probably. Yeah.
Just to not have the gravity pulling the weight downward when we're turning it tight.
How does this go? That's front. So what am I doing wrong? Oh, that front cross extrusion can't be there either. Because we can't slide this.
Oh, yeah.
Can't slide that on. Yeah, that front cross extrusion can't be there either.
Not scratching anything he says while smacking every part as he turns it around. You got the wrong guy. I don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, so I think this front extrusion needs to come off. Yeah, and PB is realizing as well. That's okay.
Okay.
Now, and I still think doing it on its side is better for control here.
Oh, you're already doing it on its side. I thought we were gonna slide it on top down. Okay, I'll try that. Let me make sure I've got this right. This is. Oh.
And then just a little bit at a time, I should be able to walk it on.
Need to loosen these little.
It's that one, so I'm gonna just
Reminds me of like Happy Gilmore. Just tap it in. Just tappity tap it in.
Tap it in.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, I've got.
So we're not actually tightening these. I'm just putting them in enough to where it doesn't slide around.
Yep.
And actually, since this is right here, I'm gonna put this front extrusion back on.
Oh man, I just really don't want to scratch these up. Let's see. There we go.
Extreme idea. Modbot building a printer with mini bot strapped on the front to the front and a baby Bjorn.
That sounds awful. I love Baby Jack, but I will. He just drools and grabs everything. So I certainly wouldn't want him on me during electronics. He would short something with that drool.
BT Cruiser, dry your Pet G. Dry it. Even if you don't think it needs it, dry it again. Pet G is a stringy mess when it's wet.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's a stringy mess when it's dry if you don't have your right settings, but...
Yeah. I also don't like printing PETG with a standard brass nozzle. It just sticks way too much to brass.
Yeah.
Plated copper or some sort of coating, so much nicer.
Nothing better than watching a Steve and Daniel VZBot build stream while building a VZBot. Awesome.
That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, I've got Gantry in just very loose. Not loose, but like it's not clamped down. And then you said you're doing you're doing the.
Now I put.
So now we're just doing the.
I put the front top extrusion back, so I'm gonna work my way around and put all of the top extrusions on now.
Yep.
So and I'm just gonna turn the printer. And then I'm going to just barely touch these as well, just to, they're not tight. It's just keep getting the slack out.
I feel like it's quite a mission to get the frame and gantry on, but once you do, you've made a lot of progress.
Oh yeah.
Like it goes from like, man, I feel like we spent 3 hours and we have nothing to show for it, to all of a sudden it's like, yeah, check me out, you know?
Well, we're gonna finish the frame basically today.
Yep.
Which is really where we thought we were hoping we'd end up.
Totally. I just for some reason thought that we would be further, but there was a few things, but I think overall we've made really good progress.
Are you supposed to measure the gantry height from end of extrusion or inside a top cross piece? It's inside the top cross piece. There's a printed part that gives the spacing on that.
Yeah, so once we square up the outside, we should be able to loosen, like attach the printed part and loosen the gantry, right?
Yep.
Yep. Have I ever used Teflon coated nozzle? Maybe, Brian, I don't know specifically. I've used a ton of nozzles, and so it's possible that one of them had it. But I know that like even the ones that come on the Dragonfly, like the from Fadis, is like a plated copper, and I have had really good luck with that and PETG. So, but yeah, just the standard brass I really don't like. It just gunks up and then ends up like burning off of the nozzle and dripping down into your part and causing all sorts of chaos. Why is this not doing on here? Do I need to loosen the gantry? Is that what's pulling this all together? I think that was a yes. Web time corners would be handy for our shops.
Are you talking about like the nylon strap?
What was that?
You're talking about like a nylon strap with the corners used in like frame, like picture frame making and woodworking?
Huh.
Hey Chris, KB3D, welcome. Okay, that side's on. Okay, I'll loosen gantry again. Hey, John. With 4 corners cabinetry, yep. That would be, I don't know, I don't know if that would help. I wouldn't be opposed to trying it. I should get some of those anyway for general woodworking stuff. I will say I'm really impressed at how far you two have made it. Yeah,
Thank
I think this really kind of came together here at the end for today's progress.
Definitely. We kept relatively good focus. Like there was some, you know, like other discussions, but it was relatively on topic with this, you know, what we were working on and kind of. Let's see that.
Okay, I'm gonna try something here.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn this on its top, and it is good. Nice. It's sitting flat. Okay, then we have these printed parts. So these are some printed spacers that go in here and set our gantry height. So I'm gonna turn this actually right here, since these need to go here.
You go from like 50% assembled frame, almost 100% when you put in the gantry. Yeah, it's definitely like feels like a cheat code.
Something I do want to try. I want to loosen some of these gantry pieces. Make sure they're loose. Make sure things can move.
Oops, that's okay.
Because I want to make sure I can push this in to be flush with the side of the gantry.
Hold on, I lost you, Steve.
You lost me? Where are we at?
There you go.
Oh, you have to change AirPods.
AirPod. Yeah.
Swap the spacers to make sure it's equal. Yep. That is a good call, Jack. We'll do that once I get it in place and then see if they fit where the other one was. So flush, here, go back here. So flush on the end here. And I don't really have a good way of doing that. So that's there. And then same thing over here. So this one has to move out.
You're just loosening them all so that way they can slide a little as needed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, just making sure everything's loose. Yep. So that this will go. Now here's something I'm noticing. This accent piece in the front probably needs to be loosened on both sides because I can't pull it all the way to flush with the outside. And I can see that it's sticking out a little bit. So it either needs to be loosened or maybe the part sanded a little bit.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try just loosening this and pulling the extrusion back. Yep, I think that's letting me get there. Maybe loosen these bits a little bit, because really it's the extrusion that's the important part to get squared right now. There we go. It's there. And the way this is lined up, I can't actually get my driver out of there.
Uh-oh. Okay, I think I've tightened everything. I'm gonna do a quick little once around. That's tight. That is tight. That's tight. That's tight.
Making sure that these spacers are straight up and down as well.
Yeah, the ones we installed, like the ones we swapped.
Yeah. Well, these guides.
Oh yeah, the guides.
And then I'm using this to make sure that it feels the same on both sides. It's a little tight on this side still.
Okay, flipping you around. Hey, it's pretty flat, Steve.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah,
Victory!
no, this is feeling consistent across here now. So I'm gonna call this side good. It's flush here. It's consistent. So now we'll do the other side. See if I missed anything. Right. Did the VZBot 235 kit come with PC enclosure panels? It came with panels. I don't know if they're acrylic or PC. Polycarbonate or acrylic, I don't know, but it did come with panels. Some of them are aluminum, some of them are clear. And it sounds like PV is confirming they're polycarbonate.
Sick. So you started off by loosening all of the 4 gantry screws, right, Steve?
Well, what I was doing is if I couldn't get this extrusion to line up flush with the corner, then I was loosening to make sure I had the play I needed.
Gotcha.
If it already lines up, then you're okay.
Yeah, well, to get the jig in, I have to loosen it.
To get the jig in?
Yeah.
Get in.
Like I have to loosen the screws on the front and back.
Oh, to loosen these screws.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so you loosened, I didn't see, you loosened the other gantry screws.
Yeah, just to make sure I had enough compliance in areas to move things around. Because once these the frame extrusions are in place, then we can get the rest of the gantry locked in.
Yep.
How
did you ensure that the jigs were perfectly like at 90 degrees? You just try your best to use up against the aluminum?
Yeah, and as they've got enough flat there, and you can see if they're, but it does get in the way. You can't take it all the way to the edges, unfortunately.
Yeah, I did see that.
But then once it's done, basically I've confirmed by running this along the whole thing and having a consistent feel to the gap. Fabrico, thank you. Fabrico Chamois. Modbot FYI Fusion Filaments has a rigid greenback if you didn't know.
Ooh, I did not know. Someone said earlier though, that's super exciting. I did a run the other day, not the other day, probably a couple months ago, where I checked on Fabrico's site and it just said out of stock, and I checked on their site. I didn't even see a listing for it anymore. So that's awesome to hear. I will absolutely order some. It's just gorgeous, and I don't know if I'll even print with it. I just need it. I need it like a dragon in my hoard of filaments. That's weird. Okay, let's see. Turn this. You know what? Did you apply some downward pressure, Steve, when you were tightening it up? Like
little
so
bit.
that way? Yeah. Okay.
A little bit.
Cool. Yeah, that feels pretty good.
Hey, John. No, we haven't finished yet.
Oh my God.
Where's the benchy we were promised?
Whoopsies. Mine definitely is not. You know what? I think I'm gonna just do the other side and then go back around and see if the other side has any influence on how the opposite side of the gantry feels.
Okay.
I do feel that on one side it's absolutely sagging more than the other. Like when I slide this thing across, it starts to get a little bit tougher. So let's see if I can figure out what's going on. Are you tightening up all the screws in your gantry now?
No, okay. I'm going through I'm doing the other side now.
Okay. Also, so I'm noticing, like, if you feel from the side of the frame, and where the 2020s on the sides of the gantry are they protruding at all? Because mine are, like, the edges of it are sticking out a little bit.
Like right here, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why I loosened these screws in the gantry to make sure I can push things
Got you. Okay.
into place.
Okay.
And on the front, these printed accent pieces might be getting in the way if you pay attention to that.
Okay. I would think that tightening this like flat up against the surface would be ideal. Like, should we be going from the other side? Like tilting this on its side?
You can't get the guides here in from the other side because the rail's in the way.
Ah, shit. Because that would be the ideal way to install it.
So to make sure that it's flush, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. Actually, can you? You can't. You're right. It's at an angle. All right, Steve.
Okay. Yep, that's feeling good there. I think I've got it. Okay.
So we're just basically eyeballing the how flush it is with the side. Like, there's no way to.
Correct. Well, you can feel it. Your fingers can tell if that's flush or not. Dr. Dave, you did not win. Grant won.
What is going on?
And then these M4 screws should be able to go in. So this should thread in and hopefully get the, and did, nice. That just gets a couple of ugga-duggas. That's tight. Loosen this. Loosen all of this a little bit, just to make sure things will pull into place. One more 4x40. How long do you guys be streaming for today? We're almost done.
Yeah.
We're trying to finish off this little bit of frame stuff, and then we're going to call it. Oops. So that did not match. That got shifted. So let's try moving that down a bit. Okay, so those M4x40s are tightened into the T-nuts we put into the frame.
Okay, cool.
You doing good?
Yeah, it's just the side still. I'm like not really stoked on how it's lining up, but it's, yeah, I think I might need to loosen some parts on the gantry, kind of like you did prior.
Yeah. Chris, thanks for gifted memberships.
Maybe not.
Today is, by a couple of factors, the record in gifted memberships.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, so that does feel a little bit tighter on this side. And on this side, yeah, it's the same thing. It's my front side on both of them feel a little bit tighter than the back side. Back side feels tighter than front side on both of them. So maybe I just need to go like this. Might have done it. Oh.
What do we got? Thank you for making it rain memberships. YouTube hates me. So Nurgle Rot. So there's a little thing about gifted memberships. If your account is what's called a branded account, and you'll have to look up what that means, but it's a branded account, you can't actually receive gifted memberships, and that's a YouTube thing. Otherwise, there is a setting somewhere, if it's not a branded account, where you have to say, yes, I would like to receive gifted memberships. So those two things. First, check to see if you have that setting to be able to accept gifted memberships, then check for that. Otherwise, you might be a branded account. I don't know exactly what that means, but it is a restriction that YouTube puts on this.
I have a feeling I'm going to be messing around with this later on.
That's okay.
Yeah. Are you putting handles on and braces or not yet?
Oh no, oh no. I'm just putting making sure these front pieces are tight now, since they can be. Yeah.
Let me see. I'm gonna take off the bearing blocks and see how it slides.
The kit is still the carbon fiber beam. It might get changed in the future though, to the aluminum beam. And my gantry is moving.
Yeah, mine slides.
Moving good.
Yeah.
It might be a little, I can't tell because it's not necessarily going straight, but it might be binding up a little bit in the back.
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. You know, I guess my gantry parts are still loose, but likely what I'll do is once I'm tightening these small gantry pieces, I'll be moving this back and forth a few times throughout the process to make sure it's kind of evenly spreading everything out.
It's hard for me to tell if I'm tweaking it as I'm pushing it, because if it's really close, then any misalignment in the sides is going to cause that.
Way, right? Yeah.
And that'll go away once we belt it.
Yeah. Overall, it feels pretty dang good.
See you, Kyle. I got gifted. Thank you to whoever gave me a present. Too legend.
Thank you, Nevin.
Yeah.
A lot of kind comments.
Very kind. Rot, thanks for becoming a member. You can't gift from an iOS device, huh, Max?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait on the M440s that you put in until I'm completely content with this. And I know later on I'll take some more time and just get the spacers dialed in, because I'm not totally sold. It's close, but I just, since it's kind of, again, like a one-time deal, spend the time at the beginning and then later on you don't have to worry about it. I want to make sure I'm happy with it all.
Yep. I'm seeing a little bit here, but I think I can. Yeah. These really could have used some washers in the
for the extrusions.
Yeah, for the blind joint bolts.
Is that recommended in the Voron guides, or no? That's just something that you like to do. Okay. Now that you've said that, I don't think I'll ever do blind joints again without having like a stack of washers. Just because if it makes a difference, like one of the biggest issues I've had, because most of the builds I've done were quite small, right? Like the V0 builds, the V Minion, it was all small. And the Mercury 1.1 was already essentially assembled, the base frame, other than some loosening. It wasn't until I built the 2.4 that I started having issues with the longer extrusions. They're just, they like to twist on you and kind of lift. So I'm curious to see if I use washers, what sort of difference that makes on these, you know, sort of more standard or larger Core XY printer builds.
I'm gonna need to spend some time now because this was out a little bit, and I think it's what might have been causing some binding. So we'll spend some off camera just tweaking these. I think.
I'm gonna spend probably at least an hour later today just messing around with this, getting it, so I'm happy with it for Wednesday.
Yeah. Tracy, thanks for being a member. 15 months. Danny, got a squirrel. If I update Clipper, will it break my umbilical? It depends on if the Clipper update requires a firmware update to what version you're running right now. So, hey, Pex Peppers, welcome.
Well, why would the umbilical have an effect on that, Steve? You're saying because the umbilical might have its own.
Well, I'm making an assumption here, I guess. I'm assuming that the intent is this is a tool head board that has its own
Gotcha.
firmware.
Firmware. It needs to be flashed with Clipper. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
that makes sense then. I
If
just
the
wasn't
Clipper
sure.
version
Like,
changes enough. That is an assumption I made.
Gotcha. Yeah, if it's just a breakout board, then that wouldn't be the case.
Not Haribo's. Oh, Albanese. I do have some Albanese Ultimate now. These, I have tried them at this point, and they are different flavors and maybe a little stronger in the flavors, but they're like Alfonso Mango and Asian Pear and Black Currant and Blood Orange and Crimson Cranberry.
Just gummy bears?
Raspberry.
They're just gummy berries, but like different.
Gummy
not
bears.
gummy berries. Gummy bears. Gummy bears.
See ya, Shammy.
Daniel needs the Albanese. I love candy.
You need some Albanese.
I love me some candy.
You have to pick some up and have a reward at the end of stream.
Yeah. I think Aaron's got sour gummy bears stashed somewhere in that pantry. I might have to go find them. I'm making tacos again, dude. Usually when we do chicken tacos one day, I make chicken tacos the next day because we have all the fixings for it.
Let's do this.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Perfect.
Amazon. Okay, cool. I will get them.
So we went right to 4 hours.
Yeah, we did.
But we have frames. We have frames and gantries.
Yeah, I would have felt bummed out if we stopped at 3 hours. At 3 hours, we were like so close to getting those gantries on. So I think target is 3 hours. Well, not target, ballpark 3 hours. But it really ultimately depends on how far are we. Like if we can push through and make it feel like we've actually made some good progress, I would rather do that than be like, oh, see you in 3 days, gantry. So
yeah. This was good progress. We will be starting some Z stuff next week.
Yeah,
or
I'm
on
excited
Wednesday.
for that. That looks like it's going to require a lot more CAD referencing based off what I saw in the guide. So I might take some time and see if I can figure out the whole UI of the web, the web thing, because I've never used that prior to this.
Yeah, it is a little odd. Here, I'll get some Charlie time.
Charlie.
Okay, so are we good for right now?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Wednesday will be continuing.
Yep.
For anyone, maybe announce it again. For anyone that wasn't here, Wednesdays we'll be streaming the next part of this build over on the Modbot Army channel, where we stream every single Wednesday. It'll be at noon Pacific Standard Time. So this stream series is going to be going every other. So Sundays on Steve's at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard, and then Wednesdays on Modbot Army, which is not the main Modbot channel. The Modbot Army channel is the stream channel. So I just want to make sure that that's the clear, and it's linked in the description. So if you aren't following or subscribed there, we're going to be going live noon. So every other, and it's going to be a while. Seeing the mention of the electronics took 2 days makes me think that it's gonna be a process, man. Even after this thing is like mechanically built and even electronics are sort of hooked up, I think it's gonna be quite a while before we're actually pushing plastic consistently on these.
Yep. So I will be posting a reminder in my Discord. You'll be doing the same for yours. So keep an eye out for those. I would
like to have it scheduled, Steve. Like today's Sunday, I'd like to have it scheduled by sometime tomorrow. That way,
we should be able to get it scheduled tonight.
Cool. Okay.
Let's get it on the schedule. So yeah, we'll make sure each of us are making sure our respective areas are getting notifications. If you're not a member of my Discord, links in the description. You can sign up for notifications. I don't ping anybody that's not signed up, so I don't do everyone's. I don't do here's. So if you want notifications, you have to sign up for them. Huge thanks again to Polymaker for the filament giveaway, and then Mellow and Print 3D Shop for the kits. So, and a gigantic thanks for this huge number of gifted memberships today. Folks that gifted memberships became members.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Awesome.
I've never seen that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So once again, Thanks, Daniel. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
We'll
thanks
be
for
back.
having me. I'm stoked. Wednesday, it's gonna be marathon stream month, man. So.
Yep, we'll be back on Wednesday. Keep an eye out. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. And
Bye, everyone.
We'll talk to you later.